Howdy, I'm in my pink cowgirl Barbie outfit and we are here on Molokai. And for those of you who don't know, I have been on this island suffering significantly. My whole island is cursed. It's such a goddamn mess. Holy shit, please help. Been doing that since March 20th. Was that the date? March 20th, 2020. The year 2020, which means that this island is 4 years old and is actually my original island from day one. That's right. I've never restarted it, and I'm not starting today, bitch, because that was a clickbait title. I am not restarting technically my island, but I am restarting it because I flattened the whole fucking thing. The whole thing is flattened. I flattened it, and now I'm rebuilding it, and I'm doing a whole different layout. And listen, it's very exciting for me. I've never really done that before on this scale, so it is a big deal. I'm never gonna restart my island. I need you to get that through your head, ever. I'm scared. I'm bad at that kind of thing. I'm bad at changing things. As much as I hate this island and I hate the people and I hate everybody on it, just kidding, kind of, it's complicated. I will never restart it because I just can't. I just can't, and I really can't explain to you why. I just need this island to be here, to be what it is, but I wanted to change everything else about it, so that's what we're gonna do today. Also, oh my gosh, I just had the most random thought. A part of me was tempted to just absolutely dump right here on the lore of my island, but then I realized that it's 4 years worth of intense daily lore, because my brain, if you think that 4 years is nothing, you have absolutely no idea what I'm capable of. 4 years is so much time for me to just be absolutely insane on my YouTube channel. So I was just thinking I should just, do an update on all my lore throughout the years, but then I was wait a goddamn minute, Amanda, there's no time for that. You need a whole video to do that. So I just now had the idea. Should I do a whole video on my island lore from day one to now, just so everybody's up to date, up to speed? Let me know right now if you would be interested in a whole big huge video akin to my Neopets lore videos about Molokai, my island, and the last 4 years of my life and how horrible they've made that experience. Because now I kind of want to do it. I really want to do it, actually. Wouldn't that be so funny and fun to just revisit shit? It's just crazy to look back on. There's so much stuff that we forgot about, I think. Let me know. It has been a very long time since we just had a good old-fashioned Q&A where I answer a bunch of questions from my patrons over on my patron-only Discord, and just info dump on you, just dump on you in general about all of the things that you ask me about. So that's what we're going to do today. We just really need a good old-fashioned speed build peppered with some weird interactions with my villagers, I'm sure, because we can never get away with just doing anything normally without people causing scandals, drama, a ruckus, a scene, if you will. I am very, very confident that there will be at least a few altercations caught on film, so stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, I just figured it was time to just start everything over. All right, let's get right into the Q&A. I have lots of questions. You guys over on Discord, over on my patron-only Discord, are amazing. Thank you for your patience in the Q&A channel. I know it's been a long time since we've done one of these, but I really appreciate you all coming out with your questions. You always have so many good ones, and with us doing so much on Molokai and also Mothman, I have a lot of stuff planned still. I'm sure we're going to get to a lot more of these questions, so I'm really excited to get started chipping away. And so yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So this first question was asked by two of you, Time and Skyla. You both wanted to know more about jumping spiders, if I have any fun facts or anecdotes or anything on jumping spiders. And of course I do. I've worked with a bunch of different species of jumping spiders, and I am just as obsessed with them as all of you. I love them. And if you don't love them yet, if there's anybody left out there who is still not aware that jumping spiders are your favorite animal, they are your favorite animal. And I'm about to tell you why. So yeah, jumping spiders, right? I mean, holy shit. Just what the fuck are you doing on this planet? I'm already feeling the cute rage. It's coming out. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of rage in this answer. So just get used to it, I guess. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I actually used to have extremely severe arachnophobia, extremely severe. I loved being in the woods my whole life as a child. And that's what got me really into, there's a lot of things that got me really into animals, but one of the biggest things was going out in the woods and looking for snakes and salamanders. I had some ephemeral wetlands in my backyard backyard growing up. And so we'd have like spotted salamanders and toads and frogs out there. Every year I would go and like look at the eggs and grab some eggs and have them hatch in my little tanks, and I would release the tadpoles and stuff. And like, I just loved being in the woods, and yet I hated it because I hated spiders. And so I would be so terrified. If I saw a spider web or a big spider somewhere, I would like never go that way ever again. And it just like ruined the outdoors for me. I just had this phobia that like controlled my life. Like I hated being in garages because I saw too many daddy long legs in garages. It just controlled my life. It just like ruled my life for a while there. And so when I started pursuing my career in wildlife conservation and environmental science and like zoology, because basically, long story short, if you don't already know, I kind of spoiled it in the beginning by talking about how much I love jumping spiders. I'm totally over the arachnophobia, kind of, almost, for the most part. It's funny because there's like still a little remnant there. Like every once in a while I might like walk into a spider web and be like, oh, fuck, shit, I love spiders. They're so beautiful and gorgeous, and it's so amazing that they make webs, but I really fucking hate that it's on my face right now. Holy shit. And if the spider's on me, I might die, but also I love you. You know, it's like there's still a little bit there. If it's like a surprise spider, I could hold any spider. If I'm looking at the spider and if I go to touch it and pick it up or whatever, like I'll be fine. Or like I can work with spiders, no problem. I used to not even be able to look at them, but I could work so comfortably, so easily with any species, and I can admire any species from afar. But I still do have some issues with like feeling little crawling on me. When I feel like a fly or something land on me, I'm like, a spider? So there's like still that little weird remnant of the arachnophobia. But yeah, I actually managed to totally get over it for the most part, considering how bad I used to be. Like I used to not even be able to like look at pictures of spiders. And I've had lots of pet spiders ever since I got over it. And it was a long process. And I know this question is not about me getting over my arachnophobia, but you know, I just have to be long-winded. Anyway, yeah, it was a long, slow process of just first appreciating spiders, appreciating what they do for the environment, learning all about them. Once you get into like environmental biology and stuff, you learn pretty quickly to appreciate all types of life forms. Like once I really started learning about spiders, I'm like, oh my God, spiders are the fucking MVP. We love spiders, except for I don't want to touch you. And then slowly but surely I was like, okay, I think I can look at you. Okay, I think I might have a goal to hold a tarantula by the end of the year. Okay, I held a tarantula. Now I fucking want one as a pet, but I'm still a little scared. You know, like when I got my first pet tarantula, I was still a little scared of her, but I was just like, I love you. You're my pet. I have to care for you. And that helped tremendously. And it just spiraled out of control from there, because then I realized, wow, you could have so many spiders. There's so many cool types of spiders. They're pretty easy to care for. And I just got really into them. And so yeah, all at once, I just felt myself falling totally in love with spiders and learning all about them. And I got a lot of incredible opportunities to work with large collections of spiders in my career, where there was tons of different species. I've owned tons of different species of tarantulas, and I've worked with lots of jumping spiders. And the whole reason I went on a tirade about arachnophobia is because I personally didn't start with jumping spiders, which is crazy in terms of like desensitizing myself to spiders. But I think we're all in agreement when talking about spiders that jumping spiders are absolutely the best stepping stone for anybody who is scared of spiders to like start appreciating them and start seeing the beauty in them, because they are so fucking cute. They're so gorgeous. They're so interesting, and they're so cute. I know I already said that, but I will say it again, and I will keep saying it. They are so fucking cute. Yep. Here comes a cute rage. It's going to be bad. Anyway, so jumping spiders, let's talk about them. There's like 6,000 species of jumping spiders. Actually, there's so many different types of jumping spiders. They're everywhere too. I think the only place that you can't find jumping spiders is Antarctica. They're fucking everywhere. Like you probably could go outside and find one right now. And they're really small, but like if you actually focus your eyes and look at them, you can get a good look at them. They're not like microscopic, and they're so fucking cute. They're so fucking cute. And not only are they so cute, I think I've already stressed that, but they also are so fascinating. So they're just their own little thing. They're so different than any other type of spider for so many reasons. First of all, they don't spin webs in the traditional sense that you think of as spiders spinning webs. They don't spin these big, beautiful webs like orb weavers and other types of spiders that you know classically to catch prey. And then there's other spiders that use their silk that they spin to create these like trap doors and other mechanisms to help them catch prey. Like that's the main mode of hunting and predation for most spiders. They're either lie-in-wait predators that just wait on their web, or ambush predators that hide again in their little trap doors and like things that they make with their webs. But then there's jumping spiders. You know, they have little spinnerets on the back of their abdomen that they use to make silk. One of the things that they use their silk for is making their little sleeping bags, their little like house that they sleep in, because they sleep. And that's actually kind of a big deal because most like small little inverts like that don't really sleep in the traditional sense. But these little guys, not only do they sleep for real, they sleep, they have a whole circadian rhythm. They also, there's been studies that have proven that jumping spiders experience REM sleep, which I'm sure most of you correlate with dreaming. And while obviously we can never be 100% sure, like if they dream or like what their dreams are like, how they experience dreaming or thought ever, we can't just ask them. You can at least take away from that there is brain activity going on while they're asleep, which means, I guess, I mean, if you were to ask me, I know that you're supposed to, as a scientist, I'm supposed to say like, we can't know for sure, don't anthropomorphize them, but they're fucking dreaming, okay? They're having little spider dreams, you guys. Sometimes I think that we're a little too cautious not to just embrace these things. I hate to be the one to break this to you, but spider dreams, okay? There's spider dreams happening on this planet. Little tiny, cute, adorable spiders are having little tiny, cute, adorable spider dreams about jumping around, catching prey, being on a leaf, crawling up a tree. That's what's happening. I'm sorry, that's the truth. You know, you don't come to this channel for lies, do you? You come for the truth because you know I'm going to give it to you. So these spiders, they're dreaming away, they're honk-shooing in their little web sleeping bag and they're dreaming. Another thing that they use their webs for, how do I even, so there's another thing they use their webs for, but we'll talk about that a little later. I do just want to remind you that they don't use their webs for hunting. They're not a lie in wait predator. They're not an ambush predator, but they are predators. And the type of predator that we're dealing with is actually a very active predator. An active predator is something akin to like a cat, like a big cat, or like a, African painted dog, or a wolf, or a fox. That's what we think of when we think of these active predators that go out there and they hunt and chase and stalk their prey. That's what these little cuties, so I'm trying not to call them names, but they are too cute for me. Sorry, I just can't handle thinking about them being out there as like these little assassins, because that's really what they are. They're quite incredible at hunting. They have so much precision and skill in everything that they do, and they are just these incredible little killing machines. They're stealthy, they are quiet, they stalk, and they hunt. And it's just crazy to think of these little cuties, little cherubs, little angels hunting for their little bugs. It's just wonderful. It just keeps getting better. So the whole thing with the jumping, let's talk about that, because that's, it's in the name. And I also want to get to like the way that they also use their web. But in order to do that, I need to explain the whole jumping thing, which is, it's a lot. It's crazy. Everything about these spiders is crazy. So jumping spiders, explain yourselves, like why are you called jumping spiders? Like what exactly do you mean by that, by jumping? Well, jumping spiders, that's obviously their common name. There's actually something like 6,000 species in the family Salticity, which is jumping spiders. And so there's so many, they're all over the world. They're all beautiful. They all look so different, but they all look so cute at the same time. And they all are really good at jumping. So let's talk about that aspect of things for a little bit, because I think it's pretty notable, honestly. Basically, unlike other small terrestrial jumping invertebrates, invertebrates that are known for jumping, think of like grasshoppers, katydids, fleas even. Fleas are like the jumpers of all jumpers, but I don't think that actually, because like they may be able to jump highest according to their body size, but they don't even know what the fuck they're doing when you compare them with jumping spiders. Like they are fucking amateurs. They're messy. They're sloppy. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Fleas are really out here speaking for the jumpers of the invertebrates. Fleas are really out here being like, yes, that's true. Yes, it's us. We are the best jumpers in the invertebrate world. Bitch, sit the fuck down. No, you're not. Like you're sloppy. You don't even know where the fuck you're going. You're like launching yourself into the air without any trajectory, any rhyme or reason, with only a hope and a prayer that they'll land somewhere better than they're currently at. That's how the big jumpers with the long legs, that's how they work. When we talk about jumping spiders, we're entering a different game. We're entering a different level. This is like an elite round table discussion when we're talking about jumping spiders and jumping. These grasshoppers, these katydids, these fleas, these crickets, they are not invited to this discussion. They are launching themselves into the air. That's about it. If they land, good for them. Like that's a bonus, it's a plus. They don't know where the fuck they're going. They just have these long, crazy legs that launch themselves, catapult them to another place, A to B, if you will. That is so beneath the jumping spider. They would laugh if they knew. If only they knew. They probably do. They probably do know. They probably do laugh about it. The fleas are not familiar with the jumping spider's game. And it's a good thing for that, because if they were, they would probably all just want to go extinct. Honestly, they would probably all just collectively decide to go extinct if they knew, if they were familiar with the jumping spider's game. These big long-legged motherfuckers with the long, like bended extensor muscle back legs, they can just like totally jump so far because they have these big, huge, extended, like hidden, whoa, that's crazy. I didn't even know you had those back legs back there that they always keep like folded. Amateur shit, rookie shit. That is not professional. It's just embarrassing morphology, honestly, unskilled form, unskilled function. Wait till you hear the level of like excellence that goes into the jumping spiders. Jumping, you know, like they really earned that fucking name. They don't call them the jumping fleas. They do call them grasshoppers, but like grass comes first because bitch, you're staying in the grass. The jumping spiders, they're shooting for the stars, okay? And they might just reach them. And so the way that they're able to jump, because their jumps are so accurate and they can target their jumps so well, whereas the large jumping inverts, like again, grasshoppers, fleas and stuff, they kind of just jump and hope they land somewhere good. But jumping spiders are so particular about how they jump and where they jump that they actually, when they're a lot younger and throughout their life, they have done studies that jumping spiders learn as they go. Every time they make mistakes and every time they miss a jump or they don't get quite where they wanted to land and stuff, they take that information in and they like factor it into their next jump, and they actually improve based on the things that they learn from like failed jumps and stuff like that, which is crazy. So they're just such a thinking spider. Like the fact alone that these spiders learn, that they dream. I mean, to me, honestly, I would say that jumping spiders are right the fuck up there with cephalopods. They far surpass even mantids in terms of intelligence and just like thinking and just like the evidence that we have that these are thinking, conscious, learning, growing, analytical little creatures, you know, that they are actually taking thoughts into their brain, turning them over. And another thing, like we'll talk about this in a minute, but their eyesight, I think, goes into this significantly with the way that they're able to process the world and like actually turn it over, think about it, contemplate it. These are extremely intelligent little fucking creatures. And that's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this, is that jumping spiders are thinking, they're perceiving you. When you walk by one, they see you in fucking 8K HD, by the way, but they are taking everything in. They are experiencing the world in their own little way, but it is very much akin to the most intelligent invertebrates on the planet, which are, of course, cephalopods, especially octopuses and cuttlefish. Okay, so I know that I've been teasing this, like how they jump is so amazing. You're never gonna believe it. Like it's so much better than all the other jumping bugs. And I'm going to explain that now. In my defense, however, the reason that I have to stop and like explain so many other things is because these spiders are just that fascinating. But yeah, the jumping, let's go. The way they jump is actually this incredibly complex hydraulic system internally that can help extend their limbs all at once by increasing their blood pressure like right on the spot. And once they increase their blood pressure throughout their whole body, it's like they're this little water balloon, and their entire little body is like so full of pressure because it's like a hydraulic system, and then they're able to just launch themselves. So having this whole internal hydraulic system, as opposed to having to rely on this whole apparatus behind you, this like big appendage that's acting as like this whole big catapult that's just kind of throwing you through the air without a rhyme or a reason. This system of hydraulics and pressure and all that, and just kind of building it up in their own little body, allows for so much control that is exercised in the precision, in the accuracy, and in the learning experience, in the way that these spiders live their life and gradually over time become more proficient at jumping accurately from place to place, because they're actively learning, growing, and controlling each jump based on what they know, based on their own strength, and based on past experience and how they apply what they learned from their past experience. And like they get better mentally, but also physically, and they just have all that control. They have the control to be able to put what they learned into their next jump. It's so incredible. Basically, all of that makes it so that they have developed this incredible system, and they're really able to make choices when they jump as to where they're going to go, how far they're going to go, how high they're going to go, how hard they're going to land. Like they calculate all of that before they jump. It's truly incredible. And now we can finally talk about that other use of their silk that they spin that I kind of like hinted at. So they use it to make their little sleeping bag that they sleep in every night. And they also use it as a tether, you know, like a mountain climber or whatever has like a line. So it's basically like their little safety insurance cord they're like attached to. That way, if they fall, they're not really falling. You know how when you're like rock climbing and shit or mountain climbing even, like I just said, unless you're fucking Alex Honnold, you have these lines on you. It's kind of like that. They call it a drag line. And so these drag lines attach to surfaces in case the spider falls, much like if you're rock climbing or mountain climbing, unless you're Alex Honnold and you're just going to climb shit without any of that because you just don't care about if you live or die. Jumping spiders do care. They do care if they live or die. That's why they have their little silk drag line. So cute, so efficient, so brilliant. It's insane. These spiders, they just are built so fucking different. And we overuse that term built different, but when like there's just no better use of it than to talk about the jumping spider, there's still so much more to go over. I'll try to be brief, but I don't know if I can. In addition to being as cool as I've already explained, and also the cutest fucking thing that ever existed, they also, of course, as you can fucking imagine, sorry, the cute rage is just taking over. They dance. They dance for each other, actually, to attract a mate. Yes, it's true. These spiders are dancers. Like, are they spiders or are they dancers? Actually, they are in fact dancers. They dance, you guys. And the dances that they do, you guys, the dances that they do for their little spider crush are just so cute. They're just so cute. Yeah, yep. What's the evolutionary advantage of being adorable? I don't know. Especially for like a small invertebrate arachnid like that. Like, what exactly is the evolutionary reason that you came out looking like that? Oh, sorry, the cute rage is just taking over. Oh, here's a fun fact. Many species of jumping spiders make a substance akin to milk. It's kind of like, you know how like pigeon milk, it's like, ew, what the fuck is pigeon milk? Why do they make milk? That kind of thing. Like there's some birds that make us a milk-like substance and shit. Well, jumping spiders do that too to feed their babies because of course they do. Yes, they just have to continue being cute and wholesome at every turn. They're a little like short, stout, little like mini spider body. They're like this little short ass little fuck. They're just so cute. They're just this little fuck standing there, this little fucking fuzzy little spider. And they just like will tilt their little head, but they don't really have a head, you know, so they tilt their whole fucking body and it's hard to watch. But also it's awe-inspiring because they are just so cute and they are totally watching you back, taking you in, looking at you, analyzing you, thinking. Like you can just see them thinking. It's just insane, honestly. I feel like they're aliens from a different planet. In fact, just one more little tangent on these guys. You know, you really opened up a can of worms. Their eyesight, right? So you see those big, round, adorable puppy dog eyes that are just pulling you in, making you love them. Even if you hate spiders, they're making you love them. Those ain't for nothing. They have the most incredible eyesight. It's just so cool. I mean, it's not the most incredible eyesight of any animal, but it's just really cool how their eyesight works. So they have 8 pairs of eyes, of course. And the big main eyes, the cute ones, they're tetrachromatic, which means that beyond the basic red, green, and blue cones that we have, for example, they can also see ultraviolet light and other different really complex like colors and lights and shit. It's crazy. There's a lot to this, honestly, but I won't bore you because like I could get really, really nerdy and inaccessible really fast with this kind of talk. But basically just know that they have amazing, amazing eyesight. Like, okay, one more really nerdy fact. Sorry, I could not do it. So the big eyes, again, the cute ones, they actually process images in what is essentially high definition because the way they're positioned and the shape of them and shit is so unique and specific that the way light hits them, basically it allows the images that they see to reflect multiple times. And then all their other eyes too, and the way they're positioned are perfect. They all have their own little role. They basically have like a 360-degree visual awareness. They really are just like the coolest, cutest, most amazing amazing little guys. And so yeah, hopefully you love them now too. Seb, you asked, have you worked with or owned any fancy/domestic rats? Do you have any highlights, anecdotes, or facts you'd like to share about them? I'm so glad you asked. I don't know if I've ever talked about my rats before, but yes, I have had rats and I can't recommend them enough, of course. As pets, I think that they are perfect animals and oh gosh, love them. Of course I love them. If you're not aware of rats, I already did this with the spiders thing, but if you're not aware, rats are amazing and you just need to get aware right now. So I never really had any interest in owning rats. And as a reptile person, actually, you could probably see where this is going. As much as I love them, I love all animals, and I totally, recognize that they're so smart and amazing. I was just like, oh, I'm not going to have rats because I have snakes, so I can't have rats. And it's also kind of sad because I'm feeding some of my snakes rats. I only ever feed frozen thawed. I don't even think that feeding live, I don't even necessarily think it's a choice that oh, everybody each to their own. I think that nobody should be feeding live unless the specific reptile literally refuses frozen thawed. I just think that it's unnecessary suffering for the feeder, and it's also unnecessary danger to the reptile because, rats and mice are capable of fighting back for their lives. Not going to get into it too much, but the story that I'm going to tell is a little bit, I'm not going to talk about animals eating rats and mice, but talking a little bit about the relationship of rats in the reptile owner's life is important for the story. And it's a sad reality that, rats, in addition to being wonderful pets, are also heavily bred for feeding reptiles, which is really sad. But it's also, reptiles need to eat too. So I was always just I can't have a pet rat because it would make me so sad. I just don't want to get that attached to them. But I worked at a big reptile breeding facility. It was a reptile zoo. And there's a lot of facilities that, they have a lot of reptiles. And so they actually will have an entire rodent breeding facility too, because it just makes more sense to breed their own rodents to feed their reptiles so that they're not just ordering all these rodents all the time. So they all have these facilities set up where they can breed the rats and they can humanely do what they need to do to make them so that they can feed them to the reptiles and stuff. And when I first started working there, some of the older employees were just telling me different stories and stuff. And I noticed that they all had pet rats. And I was like, oh, it's just so funny that you guys all have pet rats because you have so many snakes too. And they're like, oh yeah, no, you'll end up with a pet rat. And I'm like, what? And they're like, no, everybody does. You'll just run into a rat while you're working here that you love and you'll take it home. There was just a whole big room of rats. And I, again, never fed live. And they had this whole operation that I wasn't involved in with humanely euthanizing the rats so that they could be fed and stuff. And I didn't ever take part in that, but I would occasionally go into the rat room and do little tasks and stuff. And one time I was in the rat room and it was funny because going in there even a little bit, and I didn't work in that room because there was, employees that would work specifically with the rats, but I would go in there and I was saying, do small little things every once in a while that had to be done. And there was this big pen full of adult male rats, and adult male rats are really, really sweet. But, like most animals, they can get aggressive, especially with things that are smaller than them, babies and stuff. And so I looked in the bin really quick and I was like, oh, hey guys. And then I just did a double take and I saw this little tiny pup, this rat pup in the middle of these big adult rats. She didn't have her eyes open yet, but she had her fur on her. Her head and her neck were brown, and then the rest of her body was white. And then she had this one big brown spot on her back. And I was like, wow, this little baby rat is in this big bucket of adult rats, which can be very, very dangerous for a baby rat. I was like, how have they not killed her yet, honestly? Because that's how rats can be. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this poor little baby rat. So I went and grabbed her because you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to separate them out based on their sex and their size and all that stuff because of that reason, because it would be very dangerous to have a baby rat in with a bunch of adult males. So I grabbed her and I was like, what are you doing in there? Because she was not supposed to be in there. And I just picked her up and she was just this cute, adorable little pup. And I was like, I'm your mom, by the way. I was like, oh my God, this is my rat. Like, this is totally my rat. And I just immediately imprinted on her and I was like, yep, this is my rat. I'm taking her home. And she was, like I said, she still had her eyes closed. She was like literally still supposed to be with her mother. So because I didn't know where she came from or who her mom was, I went and I tried to look for rats that had the same age of pups. And then I went to go find her like a foster mom, and one of the moms that I put her with took her in instantly. So once I found her a good situation where she could be with a mother, I had her in there and I would check on her. I had a note on there that was like, do not pull any rats from this bin. So I had her in there and I would go in every day and check on her, right? And then one night I went in there and I think I was actually just picking something up really quick. I think I had the day off and I was like picking something up, but I was there. So I went to go check on her and I opened the bin that she's usually in and she wasn't in there. And I was like, oh my God, somebody fucking fed off my rat. And I instantly started bawling my eyes out. And I was like asking around and I was like, did anybody see my rat? Because like by then everybody knew that it was my rat because I think it had been like at least a week or two and she had her eyes open. And so I had started to put her in my pocket because I would wear like hoodies or I'd wear like a shirt with one of the pockets up on the top. And I would put her in there so that she would get used to me so that we'd bond and stuff. Well, obviously when she was old enough, like she was definitely well old enough to be in there. She had her eyesight and she was like crawling around. So I would carry her around with me all day and everybody knew that was my rat. So I was like, where the fuck's my rat? And I was bawling my eyes out. And then everybody was like, oh my God, I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. And I was just like, I refused to give up. I don't know. So I started opening all the different bins. And for some reason, I think somebody just took the bin that like all of the rats were in and like switched it with another one for some reason. Like it must have been an accident. But like one of the bins, I opened it up and it was like the mom and all the babies and my rat was in there. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. Thank God. And it was only just like a few more days until the optimal age that I wanted her to be before I brought her home anyway. So it was a few more days. Then I went to go pick her up and I ended up naming her Pocket because I always had her in my pocket those first few weeks when she was still weaning and stuff. So her name was Pocket and I brought her home and she was just the best rat ever. And she was like my total best buddy. She would like ride on my shoulder, ride in my pockets. She was so smart. She would do little tricks and stuff. Nothing too crazy. I've seen some rats do amazing tricks, but she would like stand up for treats or she would put her hands out or she would do little circles and stuff. And I would just always have her with me whenever I could. She was so good with people. And then I, of course, needed to get her a friend. So the next time I brought a rat home, it wasn't long. I think it was probably a few months. And then I found a hairless Dumbo pup. She had her eyes open, but she was super small. And she was also in a bin with a bunch of adult rats. So I was like, oh, there's your sister. And her name was Maisie. I think she was a little older, so I was able to bring her home pretty much right away. And so Pocket and Maisie, I had them and they were like best friends and stuff. And then I had to just bring a third one home because I found a third one and she was the cutest little, she was like white. She was a Dumbo, which means, and I know I said that about Maisie too. Maisie was a Dumbo, which means that they have these really huge ears that are so cute. She was white, but then she had a little bit of gray on her face. So she had black eyes and her name was Harper and she was so cute. She was the cutest little rat. And then that was the three girls, you know, and they were my rats, but then they kind of became my whole family's rats too. Like my youngest brother, Ryan, he's autistic and he loves animals and he loved helping me with all my reptiles, but he's super connected with the rats to the point where Maisie and him, like they had the strongest bond. Like Maisie was all his completely. I mean, I loved Maisie and like we were very close, but Maisie and Ryan, my brother, were like inseparable. They had such a close bond. And because Pocket and Maisie were bonded as well, because when I moved out, because we all lived together in the house, and then when I moved out, I ended up letting Ryan keep Pocket and Maisie because him and Maisie and him and Pocket were just so close. And then with Harper, actually, my stepsister, Emily, ended up taking Harper because her and Harper were so close and like got so bonded. And Harper, as much as Pocket and Maisie were really sweet with Harper was kind of always that little odd sister out because Maisie and Pocket were so close. And so sometimes they would pick on her, but they were really sweet to her and they never like attacked her. They just kind of never let her into that full bond And so Emily ended up taking Harper, and all 3 of the rats lived their full lives. Pocket actually lived for almost 4 years, which is a very long lifespan. Unfortunately, like the one thing that sucks about rats, because I genuinely think rats are some of the greatest, best, most amazing pets you could ever own. They are so wonderful. They're so smart. They're very clean. They're so intuitive. They're like, when you get a bond with a rat, like that rat will be in tune to your emotions. Everybody always wants a pet that's going to like ride around on their shoulder in their pocket, but no pet really wants to do that as much as a rat does. When you have a really well bonded rat that has been socialized from a young age and stuff, like they love to be with you, and they're perfect pets, except for their fucking lifespan. It's so devastating. But Pocket lived almost 4 years. Harper lived, I think, at least 3 years. She lived a long life. Emily did such a great job with Harper. And then Maisie, I think she lived just about 2 years, but you know, she was hairless and she just kind of she wasn't like super healthy. She didn't have any like marked health issues, but she just wasn't as healthy as the other girls were. And she kind of just slowed down really fast, but she lived a good 2 years, which is the average lifespan. So yeah, they all lived such great lives and we just absolutely cherished them. Like they ended up becoming huge parts of our whole family, as you can imagine, because to the point where like they had relationships with other people and I didn't even end up taking them with me when I left. And it was sad because me and Pocket were really close, of course, like I told you, but she was really close with Maisie, and Maisie and Ryan needed each other. So I was like, okay, Pocket will be happy, because Pocket was really close with Ryan too. And she had my whole family. So I was like, I'm not going to take Maisie away from Ryan, and Pocket will be happy here as long as she has Ryan and Maisie and everybody else in my family. And I would visit her a lot. So it worked out, but we had such a great experience with our rats. We really did. And I ended up, because my mom and like all my family members are like, ew, rats, like you're not bringing rats home. You brought snakes home. We had to deal with that. You brought spiders into this home. Like now you're bringing fucking rats, Amanda, come on. Because it's just how people are. They're like, ew, rats, spiders, snakes. I brought it all. But nobody benefited more than everyone else from the rats. And they ended up like, you ask anybody in my family now, they're like, yes, rats. We love rats. Which that was just never the type of people they were. But now we're all rat people. And yeah, I would love to get more rats someday. I just don't really have a lot of room right now for them, but I love them. I highly recommend them. I think that they're so wonderful and I love my rat girls. I miss them so much, but I'm happy knowing that they had the best lives possible. They were so loved every day. They had like such awesome big enclosures and they ended up finding the perfect situation for them, and they lived such a good life. So I love rats and I'm so glad I got to talk about my rats. Hey everyone. Sherb really wants to tell us how to make a bone door plate today. So that's insane and so fucking scary. And he said maybe apologize for the cookie grease. Oh yeah, of course, Sherb's famous red velvet cookies, right? It's just really red, strikingly red stains. It'd be great if a bunch of folks made a bone door plate. Yeah, no, totally. It'd be so crazy if the whole community had like remains of their neighbors on the door that said welcome, but it's bones, you know? Wouldn't that be cool, actually? Oh, I kind of wish that was a thing, because the bone door plate that he's talking about is kind of lame, honestly. It is. It's just not as scary as it sounds. Isn't it like a skull? Like, that's stupid. Why don't they call that the pirate door plate? And then they make one made of actual little bones and it spells welcome. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be so perfect for sure? Oh, I wish that existed. I really do. I'm here at Happy Home Paradise Island or whatever it's called. And I just love that Pom Pom's here chilling. It's just so iconic of her, honestly. I'm so happy for her. Happy to see this. She deserves it. It's Sherb right there on the beach staring at Pom Pom and me. Sherb, what? What are you doing? Yeah, your vacation home sure is neat. It's sure, oh God. Yard work is pretty fun once you get started. It's so weird. I'm really into it right now. Oh my God. Yard work. Oh, you mean like digging holes, Sherb? You mean digging holes in your yard? Doing a little landscaping, as the serial killers say? I should start a yard work TV show, Sherb's Yard. Yeah, I can show folks how fun yard work is and then get them to do it for me. Ow, what? You're gonna make them dig their own graves? That's so sick. And he's got something in his hand. Wait, I didn't even notice he had something in his fucking hand. I know it's probably a shovel, but it looks really a lot like a knife. He's got a shovel, you guys, but it's like a sharp one. It's like one of those spade shovels. And now he's stabbing. He just stabbed. He stabbed the sand. He's not digging, he's stabbing. Don't bring that over here. He's fucking stabbing. He's not even digging anything. He's not digging a hole. He's going, He's stabbing. He's practicing stabs. I've just never seen this in my life. I've never seen this in my life. Pom-pom. She's looking right past it. She doesn't even care. She's like desensitized. We're all desensitized to it. This is not normal. We should not be normalizing this. Look at him. He's practicing, you guys. He's like getting in position and he's going, He's fucking stabbing. He's not digging. He's not scooping. You know what I mean? Ladies, except for actually, you know what, Eloise, I don't like her. I've never liked her, so I'm not gonna give her a heads up. Hey, ladies, looking good. Rocket, Yuka, run. Don't tell Eloise if she runs with you, trip her. Run. Tiffany, run. Run now and run fast. As fast as those little fishnet legs will take you. Run, girl, and don't look back. Is it just me, or is he on another level lately? Is Sherb operating on another fucking level lately? Or is it just me? You know, you can really kill someone with a shovel. You can literally kill someone with a sharp shovel like that. You totally can. If that's all you have, then you can kill them. And he doesn't want to practice with a knife in public. You know, at least he can pretend he's like playing in the sand, but he's not. And we all know that he's not. Again, he's not scooping. He's not digging. He is not even penetrating the sand in the same way that you would with a shovel. Like, he's penetrating it the way that you would penetrate someone's skin when you stab them with a knife. You know what I mean? So like, that's just so concerning and so crazy that it's Sherb of all people. It could be anybody out here doing that. It could be anybody out here doing it, and it's Sherb. Pom Pom, as you know, be careful. He's stabbing. He's on his stabbing shit in public. So just be careful as you float along, would you? Anyway, that's life in my Nintendo Switch. And there's a message bottle. It better be the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for that one mound of glowing shit. Oh, hell yeah. That's the one I needed. I signed a deal with the devil, didn't I, for this? The glowing moss boulder, that's the exact one I needed. I thought I was going to take a few trips. This is my first time out here trying to look for that shit. Oh my God. No fucking way. She has the audacity to show her face on my fucking island, my place of employment. Sherby, get to her before Cobb does. You got some competition out here, buddy. Love this question, Devin. You asked, what were your favorite places to visit when you were a kid? I have a lot of them, actually, that really stand out. I've talked a lot in the past. I grew up in New England, and I've talked a lot in at least like 2 videos now about the 3 really silly, funny little, very small, very niche amusement parks that we grew up visiting that were like in the next state over, New Hampshire. These 3 beautiful places, of course, being Storyland, Santa's Village, and Six Gun City. A rip to Six Gun City because it's no longer there, but Storyland and Santa's Village still are. Just the weirdest fucking places. I'll just briefly touch on them one more time before going into the other things. I mean, you can probably derive what they are based on their name. Storyland is like a storybook place, but it's not Disney, but it's like Disney adjacent because they have, you know, like a castle. They nailed it there, huh? And then they have like Cinderella and all these like princess experiences and like just, you know, little storybook experiences. There's like pirates and shit and like dragons. And then there's just some cultural, like around the world type things of like different stories from around the world. And it's just a fucking weird place, honestly. It's a very, very, very strange, very baffling, very weird place. There's like this whole like tour that you go on where you're trying to find Cinderella, or you're trying to find Cinderella's prince or something. I think it's the prince. You start like on a carriage and then you somehow end up in a boat in the water on a lake, and you're like looking for the prince and stuff. And then he's on an island and he's like a fake mannequin man standing there with his horse and shit. And they're like, you found him, yay. But like, you've already seen a bunch of other islands, and they're real islands. They're like real masses of land. There was like one with a bunch of skeletons on it, like a bunch of dead people, I guess. It's like, holy shit, what the fuck? And I'm a child. I'm like, what's going on? I don't think anybody knew what was going on. It's just a weird ass place. I'm showing pictures hopefully right now so you can get the sense of it. But yeah, it was beautiful for that it was so fucking weird. So incredibly strange, off-putting, weird, and wonderful. Santa's Village is even better because that would be like, you know, July, August, you'd be there chilling on Christmas. Of course, that's the shtick, is Christmas. And it's so much fun. And it's like, there's roller coasters, but they're based on reindeer and stuff. You know, it's just like a regular amusement park, only everything's Christmas themed. Love it. I personally love it. I love it when everything's Christmas themed, or like everything's just themed in general, honestly. Anytime everybody like sticks to a bit, I just love that. So you go in and it's like elves, and there's real reindeer there too, like real actual reindeer there. You get to feed them. There's Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus, obviously. There's like this dark ride where you have like a gun and it's like kind of like a laser tag thing, but you shoot humbugs because it's like, what's his name? Scrooge always says that. And it's all based on A Christmas Carol. Just shit like that, you know, and it's just so weird. It's just so deeply, deeply weird. And then the Six Gun City was amazing. And it was a water park actually, but they knocked it out of the park because it was like this whole Western town. Obviously it was like a cowboy themed place, like water park, a cowboy themed water park. Isn't that beautiful? And they had real horses and real like farm animals and stuff. And then they had these actors that would be riding horses, and they would be like cowboys, and they'd ride up to you and they'd be like, have you seen Black Bandana Bill? And they'd be like looking for him. That was a name I made up, I think last time I talked about it in a stream, but it's stuck in my brain because that's probably what it was, honestly. But I just totally pulled that out of thin air. It was something like that. I remember a few things about the bandit. One thing I remember was that I personally, as a child, was drawn to this man. I think he must have been quite attractive. I also rooted for him, and he was wearing all black, and he had like a black cowboy hat, black cowboy shirt, black cowboy boots, and then I think he had a black horse too. I don't know if that's too much black. Maybe he didn't have a black horse. I bet his horse was brown. I bet he was like a dark bay, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I just remember him because, you know, he strolled up. He's like, it's me. I'm Black Bandana Bill. I just robbed the bank, you know, like there's a bank robbery. We had to like run into the bank or some shit. I remember there was like a shootout, and they had those fake guns that have a lot of smoke come out. And then for some reason there was a shootout, but then we did take him in alive, Black Bandana Bill, because I remember we drag him to jail. All the kids drag him to jail, and then you throw him in jail, and then you can talk to him in jail, and like you can come back, and they keep him in there for like a good hour at least, where you can go back to the jail and like see that he's still in there, and you're like, yep. But in my case, I was like, I don't know, you guys, I don't think he got a fair trial. Like, this isn't constitutional. Like, you just threw him in jail. You don't have to say anything to these people without a lawyer, Bill. And I was like, you guys should let him out, like, until his trial. Like, there's no bail or anything. I just remember like really pulling up for him. But it was a really fun place. Honestly, we had so much fun. Me, my brother, because at the time it was just me and my oldest younger brother, and then my mom and dad. Like, we just had so much fun tearing it up in there. And by tearing it up, I mean just visiting the park as a family. It was just so much fun. But anyway, those are like the three places I talk about the most. However, two other places that come to mind, you know, I was a simple kid, and I also grew up pretty poor, and we didn't go to the mall a whole lot. And so going to the mall was like the best. It was so cool. It was so much fun. We only went to the mall a couple times a year, I feel like. And I don't know, I just had so much fun at the mall. I just love the mall. It was always such a big outing. We would go like every year, we'd go right before, and it wasn't like we'd only go once a year. Like, we'd go whenever we needed something there, but we usually went anywhere else before we went to the mall. However, every year before school started, my mom would take us to the mall, and we get like a few things at the mall. We do most of our school shopping, like, you know, Salvation Army or like anywhere cheaper, Walmart, stuff like that. But she would let us get like a few things at the mall. And so we would go to the mall, but like we lived in such a small town that the closest mall to us was like not really a mall. It was the shittiest mall ever. It was like a one floor. There was like maybe 15 stores in it. There was nothing. It was not a mall. It is the shittiest mall you've ever seen. Like, I guarantee you there's no shittier mall. So in order to find one of the big malls, like a 2-level mall, 3-level mall, we'd have to go pretty far. We'd have to go like 45 minutes to one of those big malls. And so my mom would always be like, okay, we're going to the mall tomorrow, so get a good night's sleep. We're going to wake up early, go to the mall. And then she would just make a whole day out of it. Back to school shopping. We'd get lunch at the food court. We'd go to like the Disney store. We wouldn't get anything at the Disney store, but we would like look. And it was just so exciting to just go to the mall, walk around, spend like all day there. We would always be there like all day. There's just so many stores to go into, and I just loved it. I fell in love with the mall that way. And so I am like such a mall person, to the point where I still to this day will go to the mall just to decompress. That is probably one of my favorite things to just go do when the whole world's against me. Like, if I'm at my lowest, just a trip to the mall, nobody party, nothing. Go there and not be checking my phone, just walk around the mall and just fucking window shop and probably real shop because my ass can't not spend money, even though I don't have any. I just love walking around the fucking mall and just seeing what all the stores have today. I just love it. I love them all. And so that's why I live every day of my life in complete and utter panic and fear that the mall is going away because of online shopping and stuff. Everybody's always like, the mall is going away. But then you go to the mall and it kind of does appear that the mall is going away. Like shops keep blinking out one by one. All these stores that I used to like come to know and like depend on in the mall. It's not like I liked going into, what is it, JCPenney or Sears, like all those stores. Are they all gone now? I think Sears is still around, but JCPenney I think recently went out of business. It's just stuff like that. Like, and the Disney store, that was everything to me. And it wasn't because, again, I didn't get shit there, but I just loved going in there, and I guess that's the problem. We all didn't buy anything from there, but we loved going in. It's like, yeah, that's not going to keep us in business though, baby girl. But I do wish that it was still there for like me to take Jade to and stuff. It breaks my heart, honestly. And my mall, the closest mall to me now used to have like a big, huge American Girl doll store. I'm so pissed because I would always look at that and I'd be like, oh, if I ever have a kid, I'm totally going to bring them in there. Like we'll have so much fun in there. I can't just walk in myself, I mean, I guess I could, but I never did. It's gone. They don't have the American Girl doll store now. Now that I have a kid that would love it, they don't have it anymore. So I can't throw away money I don't have on American Girl doll shit because they took it out. They do still have Build-A-Bear, so I'm very thankful for that. I just hope that doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, I need malls. I love malls. And probably rivaling the mall for my favorite place as a child was a place called the Christmas Tree Shop. Have you ever heard of it? It's everything. If you've never heard of it, I just think that it's everything. And I don't even know if they still have it anymore. Do they not have it anymore? I'll die. I'll die if they don't have it. I really will. So first thing to know about the Christmas Tree Shop was that there was no Christmas trees. I don't think I ever saw a Christmas tree there unless it was Christmas time and it was like a decoration. It wasn't for sale. They probably did sell like fake Christmas trees, but only at Christmas time. But it was called the Christmas Tree Shop. And the one in my area, I don't know if they're always like this, but the one that was in my area growing up, it was actually quite far away. I think it was like 40 minutes away or something. But it was it was like a plaza, but it was different than anything else in the world. It was like you were in a different dimension I'm serious. It was like you entered a different dimension when you got there. There was like a big fountain, cobblestones, the Christmas Tree Shop, and then there was a couple little secondary shops. There was an arts and crafts shop, and then there was a Pepperidge Farm shop. I've never seen one before or since, except for that one. Pepperidge Farm, like Goldfish and the cookies and shit. It was this whole like specialty Pepperidge Farm shop, and we would always go there after the Christmas Tree Shop and get like a bag of Goldfish. And then there was a Christmas Tree Shop in the middle, and it was like this huge spectacle. It was like they had a big clock tower and like the big sign and stuff, and you go in there and it was just the weirdest collection of shit. It's just a department store, but it was like weird shit in there. Like the best decorations. I still to this day remember just knickknacks everywhere. Just the best knickknacks. Oh, so many fucking knickknacks. Where's the Christmas Tree Shop? I need it now. So many, walls and walls of knickknacks. Little like kind of slightly breakable knickknacks that you would just put on your shelves. Little animal, little turtles, little deer, little cats, little like fucking rocks with butterflies on them. Little knickknacks everywhere. And we just, looked at the knickknacks and I loved them. And I think that's probably why I love my knickknacks, my little treasures. Like it's just so many treasures. And then there was like regular shit too. Like I think they had some food. It wasn't like a lot. It was just like shelf shit, like dry shelf stuff. A lot of snacks, I think. And I don't think there was any clothes. It was just bullshit. It was like there was a little bit of furniture, but I think most of it honestly was decor. I think the large bulk of it was decor or like storage. I remember them having good storage bins, a lot of fake plants, and then a huge toy section. And then there was like random movies. Like they had like VHS tapes of like the weirdest movies. Like we got all of the animated Star Wars movies there, the like Ewoks movie and the Droids movie, like those weird ass animated Star Wars movies. We got all those there. We got weird shit there too. Like we got the animated Sonic series there, like the whole series. I remember getting that there too. And then there was this toy dog that I got there that I think about every time I think about the Christmas Tree Shop. It had a plastic head, and the plastic head was so beautiful. I'm going to see if I can find this on eBay or something. The plastic head was so cute and beautiful, and then it had a plush body, and then it came in like a carrying case, and I just loved shit like that. But I especially love this puppy. Like when I saw this puppy, I was like, oh my God, you guys knocked it out of the park. 10 out of 10, like chef's kiss. I love it. And I always think of that puppy and I think of like the colors of the carrier. I think it was like purple and yellow or something. And the puppy I think was gray. See what I mean? Like it's like such a visceral memory. And my mom, just like she did with the mall, would make this such a fun excursion. We only went there like once or twice a year. I'm romanticizing it so much because I think she made it a huge thing for us. Like it was just like, I don't know, it was just like so magical. Where she'd be like, we're going tomorrow, we're gonna wake up early, and it was just so exciting. Yeah, it was just beautiful. And I don't know, there's something about the Christmas tree shop and like the mall that I like. You obviously, you don't remember every single day of your childhood or even like many of the days, especially the mundane days. Like you remember things in like stretches, of time periods, but you don't normally remember an entire day unless it was like a big day. But I remember every day, like every time that we went to the Christmas tree shop, every time it was just monumental. Like there's this one day in particular I can think of, like I was saying with the Ewoks movie, like we bought that and then we bought some Teddy Grahams and they were like the Teddy Grahams with the chocolate chips in them. My mom also got like one of these blow up pools and it was so small, but it was so exciting for us to be getting a pool. It was like the summer and my mom bought this pool and she was setting it up in the backyard while me and my brother were watching that Ewok movie. I can just put myself right in the living room with my brother, my mom in the background blowing up that pool, and I can still like taste the fucking Teddy Grahams, I can still feel those hard little shitty chocolate chips popping between my baby teeth. And they weren't even that good, the Teddy Grahams or the movie, honestly, but somehow for some reason that day felt perfect. But it was just some random fucking summer Tuesday or something, but going to the Christmas tree shop and like coming home with all our spoils and like having that great day was just perfect. Kids, like you don't really need to do a whole lot for them to have the time of their life, like a fucking core memory. You really don't. But as long as you make it magical, like my mom did, like we had so much fun. Like I said, she would wake us up early, but we also just would like hang out and talk and like just engage each other all day and have fun and laugh and joke. And it was just fun, So yeah, that's the Christmas tree shop. Just visiting Goose, giving him his gay uniform of the day, just to remind him that he is in fact not straight and is engaged to be wed to a man chicken. And what a man he is. Honestly, really, truly. Still kind of can't believe he nabbed him, You really landed the man. Like Ken is a great guy. Ken's perfect, Goose. You know that, right? You know that your man is perfect. You know that. And I'm saying that completely platonically. I've never really had feelings for Ken, but I have feelings for you and Ken together. I always wanted that, even though, let's be honest, do you deserve him? Do you deserve Ken? Perfect Ken? I don't know. I actually kind of think you do. With the trajectory of your life, the way that you 360'd, like good for you. Good for Goose, huh? He really turned it around. Can you believe that? He's kind of an incredible success story if you really think about it. You remember when Goose was the biggest shithead on the island? Like, do you remember that? What the hell happened? Goose, everybody. He's living proof that if you're incredibly annoying, there's still hope for you. Like you can really turn your life around and become, look at Goose. You can get the guy, you can become an icon, you can become a friend that everybody would love to have, kind of. I'm warming up to it. I think I love Goose actually. Wow. This is proof that if you've put up with someone for long enough, eventually you'll grow to like them. I don't know. I don't even know what happened here. Good for Goose. That's all I have to say. Good for Goose and bad for Kyle, right? The trajectories of these two men's lives could not have turned out more topsy-turvy if they tried. It's crazy. It's just not what I expected, but hey, that's life, right? Why is Ken in the sewer? Ken, you're like in the sewer. Did you just pop out of that warp pipe? Ken's using the warp pipes and he's going through the sewers and stuff. That's great. Honestly, that is what I love to see. They are so starving for enrichment since I flattened this whole island and took everything out that Ken's like, oh my gosh, look at the pipe. I wonder where it leads. I don't even care. I'm just so bored that I'm going to go explore the new scary sewers that they're installing on our island where we used to have things to do. Okay, where was I? It's been a while. A couple of weeks, honestly. I was doing so much building, as you have seen. And then I just couldn't sleep at all. And I've always had insomnia, but this was on another level. I didn't fucking sleep for 3 days, you guys. Insane. And it's not like it was just these 3 harrowing days. I've been dealing with the worst insomnia that I think anybody in the world has ever dealt with, in my humble opinion. I was fully on my fucking Russian sleep experiment bullshit for like a month, honestly. And I felt like it too. I felt like I was one of those motherfuckers like in the corner. And it was just harrowing, honestly. Like when you can't sleep, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, but for any of you sleepers out there, what's it like to just be so blessed? When did I do this? I must have done this when I was fucking sleep deprived. What is this? Oh, I think, never mind. This is smart, actually. I just put these out because I was like, I want to know what the fuck I'm dealing with because you never know which one it is. So I'm like, when I need it, I'll take it. I didn't even remember that I did this whole farm. It's so cute. It's coming out cute. Oh my God, I'm so glad I got this fucking over with. This whole thing with their houses was such a nightmare. I still have some work to do with that, but I like forgot I even did this. Oh my God. It looks cute. It looks fucking cute. Actually, that kind of looks like a little farmhouse. Anyway, I didn't sleep for like 3 days, and that's like the longest streak. But then I had so many other days where I was just not sleeping, and then I would maybe catch a full night's sleep like 1 or 2 nights in a week, and that's kind of been my normal for a while because I work at night. And then I watch Jade, my 2-year-old, during the day. Like I'm her mom, a full-time mom. And so I can't work when I'm just with Jade because obviously I'm not recording videos while a 2-year-old is like doing whatever she wants. Gotta watch her. And so it's been crazy. I feel like I've been juggling it pretty well-ish for a while, but I definitely don't get enough sleep. I've had insomnia pretty much my whole life. Like I have memories of being a small child and just not being able to sleep and just going into my parents' room. Like, hello, can anybody like put me out of my misery? I can't sleep and I have school tomorrow. And I love my parents. My parents are amazing. But I remember I have this memory of them just being like, just go to sleep. Just simply close your eyes and go to sleep. And I was always like, yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. And Pappy got Renee a gift. That's so cute. That's like so queer community of you guys to do that. You know, I just love that. It's weird. What do you mean? It's weird, but okay. What? Did I miss something? Was it weird what he said? It probably was, honestly, because he's a lazy. He's probably like, there's body parts in it. I don't know. Like that's how the lazies are apparently. Oh my God, Chief and Pappy, they both look like they live on a fucking farm right over there that I just showed you. Look at them. They live on a farm together. This is making me feel so much better. Oh my God, yes! I always get what I want. Yes! Okay, so not only are they talking, but they just stared at each other longingly for like multiple seconds. What? It might toughen you up if you was to use more colorful language. Oh, you're gonna teach me how to talk in colors? Teach me, teach me. His dumb little cowboy husband. And by little, I mean way taller than him. Love that. How about this? If someone says something you didn't follow, you might ask them, what the hey? Chief, nobody says that, baby. Hey, what the hey now? Like that? Well, that's something, I reckon. Almost makes you sound grown up. Oh yeah, now I'm gonna sound cool like you, Chief. Whiskers and bean music what? Wait, what? Oh, I was going to say Chief doesn't speak English, but this is Pappy. They speak cowboy, and I'm just not completely fluent in it personally, but I do dabble in cowboy from time to time. So I'm able to follow the conversation, but it's tough. You know, it is tough. There's some discrepancies there. It's hard. I haven't really dived into like the whole Rosetta Stone of it all, you know, where you learn a new language. I've just picked it up here and there from like being around cowboys and living in the South. So yeah, I'm following, but it's tough. Whiskers and bean music concern it. What? Like what? Like what, boys? What, cowboys? What? Anyway, what was it? Oh yeah, I was just telling you about my harrowing experience with insomnia. But yeah, it's just the worst. Like for any of you sleepers out there, like I was gonna say, just enjoy it. But also, like, I don't know, I've noticed that people who don't have insomnia are like, what the fuck? Just simply lay down and go to sleep. And it's like, yeah, that's the thing. So imagine, if you will, being so tired. I can't even put it into words how tired a person can get. If you're a sleeper, a dirty sleeper, that's what I'm gonna call you. You sleepers out there with a fucking normal circadian rhythm. For any of you sleepers out there, you know how it feels bad to be tired? You know how it feels icky to be tired? You're just like, oh, I'm so tired, I hate it. Well, imagine the tiredest you've ever been. Just try to imagine that. Maybe you were at the airport, traveling, maybe you were jet lagged, maybe you were like up for a whole night because you did something crazy once. And I'm not trying to belittle anybody who like doesn't have insomnia, but I don't know. I just think that I've gotten some responses in my life that just make me want to say this. And I'm not saying that everybody who doesn't have insomnia does this, but I just want people to know how like life ruining it can be when you can't sleep. So anyway, yeah, just like the worst tiredness you've ever experienced. And then probably you're going to times that by like at least 10, if not 100, because you haven't slept in fucking days. And the little known fact here, actually this is probably a well-known fact, but if you don't sleep, you like go crazy, right? So I actually started having hallucinations, and I've done that before because I've had insomnia like my whole life. And I think the longest I'd gone before that was like maybe 2 days. I don't even know. I mean, maybe it's been 3 days. 3 days sounds like nothing, but then it is something. It's so something. I mean, most people, and myself included, like I feel it if I don't sleep a night, but I pull all-nighters all the time. But I still am like aware all day. I'm like, I didn't fucking sleep. This sucks. So you're like aware all day, you didn't sleep. You're so tired. So tired. And obviously most of us can't just sleep whenever. Like I can't just sleep whenever when I have a 2-year-old to watch and then I have shit to do at night. But you know, my husband gets home and he like takes over with the baby and I go up and try to sleep and it just isn't happening. No matter what I do, I take melatonin, I take Benadryl. I don't need it. I don't have allergies currently, but I take it to like knock myself the fuck out and see the Hat Man and converse with the Hat Man and catch up with the Hat Man, because I have seen the Hat Man before, by the way, like for real. It's a real story. I really have. He like walked right into my room once, the one time I had sleep paralysis. Anyway, that didn't happen this time, but I just took Benadryl, I took NyQuil, like every night I was trying something new, but I've been through this song and dance a million times. So I knew deep down it probably wasn't gonna work, because when I get like that, it just doesn't work. So that's why I'm big on the whole, like, imagine you can't sleep and you're so fucking tired, like more tired than you can even imagine. And it's a different kind of tired than anything that you're used to feeling, because it's like your whole body is tired, your brain is all scrambled, everything's so foggy. You're just in this complete fog. It's worse than the normal fog. It's so much worse. It's just weird. It's all just so weird. You just feel, I don't know, boiled. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like you feel like you got fucking boiled. I don't even know how to describe it. And it's not like you're hot. You feel so like squishy and just cooked, and not in a good way. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's so fucked up. And you know, I'm good about knowing my limits, because I'm sure some of you are thinking like, oh my God, and you're watching a child in this state, and it's like, yeah, I know, right? But I'm good about knowing when it's like I can't like watch her safely. I'm very good about knowing when I can't handle something. And thankfully, because this is the thing, it's like, it's so sad to think about, like, what would I do if I couldn't sleep and I also had like any family around or anything I could do with Jade if I needed it. But thankfully I have my in-laws, like they would be able to take Jade if I was like, I can't watch her safely, or my husband would just stay home, which he actually has a couple times this month, because like he's lucky enough to sometimes be able to work from home. And if he works from home, then he can help with Jade while I nap or try to nap, or like just sit there and want to nap, or he can just like take the day off and help with Jade so that I'm not, you know, solely responsible for a child in the state that I was in. But thankfully, like the worst of where I was at fell on days where like it was a weekend, so Jade was safe, and I always make sure to like prioritize her safety. But even then, like it's not like I'm ever at risk of just falling asleep, because that would be great. Like theoretically, that's what I'm trying to do. It's just more like you're in a daze and you're just slow, but you're still aware and cognizant of what's going on. And these hallucinations, the worst part is like, you know, they're hallucinations, but you also don't. It's so weird. And this is coming from someone who's not ever experienced hallucinations really outside of this. So I don't know if that's like always how it is, but the hallucinations that I get when I'm sleep deprived are just mainly auditory things that are like kind of trippy, because it'll sound like there's people talking like right outside the window. So it kind of makes sense. And at first I was like, who the hell is out there laughing, screaming, yelling, talking right outside my window? Like, are they in our yard, like chilling, hanging out, talking on the phone? What's going on? And I would look out the window and there's no one out there, like just no one, not even someone super far away that I could attribute to the noise. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's just straight up not even happening. Like I'm just hearing people talk. That's cool. And then I walk away, and then like this really loud laughing or talking, and it's never anything I could even make out either. It's just like, you know, you can just tell people are talking, but you can't make out what they're saying. And I'm like, yeah, that's just not happening currently. That's my brain, which is crazy. And then the visual hallucinations, and I'm just like running around trying to get my bearings again, by the way, I'm sorry. The visual stuff is just stuff out of the corner of your eye. Like a couple times I'd think that I saw someone standing somewhere, which I know happens even if you're not sleep deprived, but it did get me. I was always like, oh, you know, or like I keep seeing the big one is just like flashes of light, big time, like just huge flashes of light where you're like, did the lights just flicker in my room? Like, did they go off and then turn back on? But they didn't. You just are hallucinating, baby girl, because you haven't slept in fucking 3 days. That's it. And then just like colors, orbs, spots, you know, just stuff like that mainly. But then there's also just like people, things in the back of your peripheral, things in the corners and stuff. It's a little scary, but it's never anything concrete. It's not like there's like a demon in the corner or something standing there. I just see like a figure and then I'm like, who the fuck's that? Like, hello, why are you in the corner of the top upper corner of my room, like on the ceiling? Honey, what are you doing? And then I look over and there's like nothing, obviously. And for me, my brain's always like, oh, cool. So we're just so sleep deprived that this is what we're doing now. That's cool. That's great. It's never something where I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening, thankfully. But I know that that happens if you go any longer. Like, you need to fucking sleep. And I know that. And you know that. We all know that. You have to sleep. It's like so fucking important to sleep. And that's another thing. Like, I have health anxiety too. So every day I don't sleep, I'm like, I am dying. My cells are dying. I'm dying. I'm going to die. Because you've heard people say before, you can die if you don't sleep. And I'm like, I can. I'm going to die. Basically is what you're saying. Like, there's no way to save my life, really? And it's like, no, but you really should be fucking sleeping, and you can actually really cause permanent damage if you don't sleep. Like, you can totally. And I think 3 days is kind of pushing it, to be honest. But like the whole time that I'm going through this, like my brain is also very acutely aware that I need to sleep. And so I'm just thinking the whole time, like, I need to sleep. I can't not sleep. Like, I can't function if I don't sleep, and I feel like shit, but also like this is really bad for my health. But like, no matter what you do, you can't sleep. And there's only so many things that are like right there at my disposal. You know, I live in Georgia, so I can't just go get, like, I would love to just go down and get a gummy because I never do it. You know, that would probably knock me out, but I just can't get it because we live in Georgia where it's not legal. So yeah, you see my problem. And there's like, I don't know, I just tried everything you could get over the counter. I tried cherry juice because a lot of people were telling me that works. Didn't fucking work. Yeah, nothing was working. I just, my body had decided that we weren't sleeping that week, but I don't sleep regularly. I would say that on average, I get like maybe 2 to 5 hours of sleep a night. And yeah, just long story short, last month in particular, but maybe it was like a month and a half, honestly, I was just dealing with the worst insomnia ever, because usually you have, in my case, you have just like these nights where you just can't sleep and it sucks. But then it kind of resolves itself, and then you might go a few weeks sleeping somewhat normally, kind of, but then you just have it pop up again and it sucks. But it's like 1 or 2 nights out of a week or something. And I know people deal with it a lot worse than that, but that's just been my experience. So that's why I've never really gone and like gotten any heavy duty sleep medication type thing from a doctor. But also I feel like I've brought it up to doctors before and they've been like, yeah, you should just like try harder. I don't know. Like, I feel like I've definitely brought it up before and they've just dismissed it. And they weren't like, yeah, let's get you on something. They were just like, oh yeah, no, that's a common problem. You probably just need to stop like scrolling your phone. Just give me the fucking medicine, you fucker. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm not talking to all doctors, obviously. I love all my little like disclaimers for YouTube. Obviously, I'm not talking about all doctors. I'm talking about this particular doctor, but I know that's a common experience. Like, why can't they just fucking believe us and just give us the fucking shit we need? I just feel like I've brought things up to multiple doctors before and they've just been like, yeah, that happens. Like, no, bitch, it doesn't happen. I'm not fucking sleeping. Give me something to sleep. But that was a long time ago, and I think it just killed my spirit. And it made me think that doctors don't do anything for like severe fucking insomnia. But I think they do. I think if I go to a doctor and say, hey, I didn't sleep for 3 fucking days straight, and then before and after that, there was also multiple days where I didn't sleep, is that normal? I think most doctors would probably agree that it's not normal, and they'd probably prescribe me something. And I'm sure when I went the time that like made me never want to ask about it again. Like, it probably wasn't nearly that bad. And I used to, especially when I was younger, minimize my problems to the doctors. And I'd be like, yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, but I just like have trouble sleeping sometimes. It is that bad. It's always been that bad. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that I definitely wasn't operating on this level of insomnia back then. But still, it's like, if I tell you I have trouble sleeping, like, please help me find a solution to that other than just being like, yeah, you're a doctor. That's not good enough. Like, I want you to help me, you know, like that's like such a minimization of what I'm going through. Like, yeah, I'm telling you because I don't think it's normal. Why the fuck would I tell you something if I think it's normal? You think I'm going to sit there in the exam room and be like, yeah, so my toes are smaller than my foot. You know what I mean? Like, my fingers are actually way smaller than my arm. Like, yeah, yep, that tracks. Like, and it's not normal. You should probably be able to sleep, because I know that that's like a thing, that people are really out here going to sleep when they intend to. Like, they lay down and they fucking fall asleep. Really? Because even on my good nights, when I go to sleep and I'm tired and I'm like, wow, I think it's actually going to work out tonight, it still takes me probably on average an hour to fall asleep. If not, maybe a half hour. If like, I don't know, a half hour is probably absolute minimum, but it's probably more like an hour that I lay there. And I do have my little stories and I think about my stories and I enjoy it most of the time when I know I'm going to fall asleep. But the thing is, it's so sad too, is like, I've been having so much of that time where I've been laying there waiting to fall asleep that I like ran through all my shit. And now I'm like, I need something new. Like, I ran through all my little stories and not even those are working anymore. Usually I'm able to kind of chill and feel okay about laying there for a few hours. I mean, it sucks. It sucks, actually. It always sucks. But usually I'm like, at least I have my little stories and I'm not just thinking about real life and shit and like just dwelling. And sometimes, actually most of the time I do. And I have to be like, Amanda, stop thinking about that. Because at night I also think of the worst shit possible. Sorry, I'm just dumping on you guys right now. Wait, why the fuck did I give you that? Oh no, wait, someone else gave her that. Holy shit. I thought I gave her that and I was like, oh my God, why the fuck did I give her that? Maybe I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm still fucked up in my brain, even though I've been kind of getting some sleep lately. And I say that knowing that I got almost no sleep last night, but the last week or so I got a lot of sleep, which is cool. Yeah, I thought I gave that to Renee, but I didn't. Should I be honest with her? It is bad, Renee. Yeah, I don't like it. I gave you honesty. What? Come on. All I'm asking for is some honesty. I look like I'm wearing a trash bag, don't I? I just said yes. I want to be honest, but this isn't giving me the fucking wow. So it didn't really give me the option to be totally honest. But even when I was as honest as I could be and told her that it looks like shit, because I'm sorry, but it looks like shit. Like, this isn't you, Renee. This isn't my vision for you. I want you to take that off immediately. I don't like it. And you don't either. That's the biggest thing here, is like, I know you don't like that. I know that's not you. So I'm just like, hey, I don't think that that's right for you. And she said it made her feel like a wilted flower. And granted, I think I would feel that way too if anybody told me that anything I was doing or wearing looked bad. But also, I would want you to let me know. I would feel like a wilted flower, but I'd be so grateful to you that you let me know. I would feel like that because of my own judgment to put the thing on in the first place. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry, Renee, that you wanted that to work out. She's like, it'd be nice if I was the kind of girl who looks good in that stuff, but I'm me and that's that. That's not at all what I was saying. What? I feel like I'm going to throw up. This feels awful. I'm never being honest with the characters of this video game ever again. Ever. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to everybody involved in this terrible disaster of a situation. I'm sorry. I'll never be honest again. You can guarantee that. Yeah, I'm going to start lying to all of you as if I don't already. Anyway, Ada, you were asking if I had any recent hyperfixations to share with the class and that you loved hearing about my past ones, like with puppetry and stuff. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, I do have one in particular that is currently ruining my life, and I do mean that. I hate being neurodivergent. It's like not fun, right? Isn't it? like not fun kind of sometimes. When the hyperfixation, like sometimes, you get, I think we're all a little guilty of maybe dubbing something a hyperfixation that maybe isn't technically, you know what I mean? Like I would say that I am hyperfixated on Neopets for sure, because like I can't step away for a second. I can't stop living in that world. I can't stop looking up everything about it. Yeah, like little fun hyperfixations. And then there's just like interest, big, huge interest that I have. But every once in a while, a hyperfixation comes along that reminds me that I am in fact extremely fucking neurodivergent. That's when I realize, like, is anything else a hyperfixation? If this is like, and there's levels to it. There's gotta be. I am talking on my ass, by the way. I'm obviously not a medical professional of any kind. But from what I understand, a hyperfixation goes above just an interest where, and I apologize for explaining this to all of you. I know you all know. I guess I'm just trying to preface this by saying that like this one, I hate to have to share it with you. You might have seen it poking through here and there recently, but I wanted to preface this by saying that like I'm having a very unique but very real experience with this current hyperfixation. And the hyperfixation is 9/11. Yeah, that 9/11. Yep, that exact one. So, I don't want to get too into it. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about what happened on that terrible day, the terrible Tuesday in 2001. I'm only laughing because I'm uncomfortable. I'm not laughing about 9/11. I could never laugh about 9/11. It's probably safe to assume that I understand the gravity of what happened that day because I can't stop looking into it as if I'm a part of the CIA and we're still trying to find who did it. Like I can't stop it. I can't stop. And I'm telling you, I can't. Not that I won't, not that I don't want to, but that I can't. I do want to. I will as soon as I can, but I can't. I can't stop. You guys, to give you the level, and I hope that so many of you in the comments will commiserate on this with me, because I feel like when I have talked about my hyperfixations in the past, it's been fun. It's been like, oh my gosh, I got so into puppetry. I got so into this. Look what I did when I got so into animals. I went and like fucking went to school for it, and here I am still to this day. This 9/11 thing, it's different than that. Please don't hesitate to take to the comments and commiserate with me. Anyway, 9/11, right? I just something about it. And I've been aware of 9/11 since it happened. I was not there, but I don't know, I was pretty close to where it was. Like I had some friends growing up that had family that were affected because our airport was Boston. And that was one of the airports that some of the planes left out of. And I remember it very vividly, even though I was very young. So found out at school, and like my mom came and picked us up and we were watching on TV, same story as everybody. But one thing that I remember is that I wrote a poem about it because I just needed to center myself. And I was like, Mom, I wrote a poem about how I'm feeling about this tragedy. And then she gave it to the newspaper, and it was in the newspaper. I had to make it about me. Anyway, I have been aware of 9/11 all this time, and I've always been like aware of the scope of it. But I think it was just this one thing that I watched on YouTube. It's just how it gets you. You just watch the right video or hear the right sentence, and it activates you like you're a fucking sleeper agent. Like, oh, we're supposed to be really, really, really interested in this. You have a lot of work to do, girl. You have an entire degree of information to stuff in your brain now, because we are supposed to be really interested in this, and you haven't been doing shit. You haven't been doing your homework, your research. So you better get on that. Like something activated in my brain, and I just decided 9/11. I don't even know what to tell you. Like, am I interested in 9/11? Yes, but it's in a way that I'm like seeking answers that I keep not finding or something. Like, what do I think I'm going to learn by watching another documentary or reading another book about 9/11? What do I think that I'm going to learn that I haven't already learned? I know everything about 9/11, and I want you to know, and I'm sitting here trying to explain myself to you as if you guys aren't also, many of you, neurodivergent and you get it. I'm not into 9/11 because I'm like super like a nationalist and I'm like, what they did to our country, like how, and I'm like, I just want to know the truth about what happened to our country. Like, I'm not even trying to get political. Like, I hope that nobody's taken this as like, and I'm proud to be an American, or at least like that type of shit. Like, I don't want you to think I'm into 9/11 that way. Okay. I'm not. It's different. And I can't help it. First of all, I can't help it. I can't make it stop no matter what I do. I can't make it stop. I have watched every documentary on 9/11. I think like I'd be hard pressed to find a new one because believe me, I've been looking because I need them. I need to be listening to 9/11 documentaries in the background of what I'm doing. Fucking what? And here's the kicker, you guys, because I'm sure you're thinking, what the fuck's wrong with this bitch? She's got to listen to 9/11 documentaries. Like, how could there be anything more dark that you could put on in the background of what you're doing, your little arts and crafts? I'm like over here making my little plushies and shit and painting little pictures and stuff and listening to the horrific details as they happened, as they occurred minute by minute of 9/11. Yes, that's me. I am not taking any joy from this either, by the way. It doesn't comfort me. In fact, it makes my life worse because I have so much empathy and I am so horrified by the details of 9/11 that I won't get into here, obviously. It pains me. It pains me to think of what people went through that day, and it actually keeps me up at night. It's actually quite unpleasant, to be honest, to keep learning more and more about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like, does anybody understand where I'm coming from? Because I just don't know why I am so determined to keep doing this, to keep learning about 9/11. But it's at this point, it's to the point, it's at the level where like I really do know everything about it. I know all the numbers. I know how many people died. I know the names of so many of the people, so many of the firefighters. I know the flight numbers. I know who was on what plane. I know all the captains' names. I know all the hijackers. I know all the foreign policy stuff. You guys, I hope I'm not scaring you away. I read the whole 585-page 9/11 commission report like multiple times. I keep like, it's like one of the tabs open in my phone. And like, if I get bored in line at the store, I like pull it up and start reading the 9/11 commission report. Saying it out loud is making me go through something. Like, I think I'm realizing how bad it is. What's wrong with me? Does anybody know? Any psychology experts know what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, what the fuck is actually wrong with me? Like, why is this happening to me? I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's so fucked up. It's so bad. I wonder if I could find some text messages to Matt, like, where I'm just telling him, like, do you want to know more about 9/11? Because you can ask me anything. I just need to talk to somebody about it. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just a weird, like, thing that has a hold on me for some reason. And it's kind of making my life worse, honestly. Like, sometimes I'll find, like, basically, actually, perfect example, I have to work tonight. This is my job, doing it right now. And I had to literally rip myself away from the computer because I found a 9/11 documentary that I think I've seen already, definitely, but I haven't seen it in a long time. And I didn't know where to find it. I was like, oh, there it is. I got to watch this whole thing. It's like an hour and a half long. And I had to like pull myself away from that. And in my brain, it's like, no, wait, I gotta watch this. I have to watch this. Or what, Amanda? Or what? It's not your job. It's over. Get over it. Why am I so interested in this? Every little thing I need to know? Why? I don't like this event. I don't like that it happened. I hate everything about it. I hate everything about it. I hate everything about it. I hate what happened. I hate what those people went through. I hate every aspect of it. I hate the way that it reshaped the entire world, our country, everything. I hate the fallout. I just hate it. Obviously, I hate it. And yet here I am. Just, I could tell you anything. Like, if there's a quiz show for 9/11 facts, I'll win. I will win. I definitely will win. And I'm not because I'm not going to info dump about 9/11 on you guys for sure. So that's why I'm like keeping it all close to the chest. We're not here to talk about 9/11, but I just can't believe the hold that it has on me. And neither can my husband. He's always like, are you serious? Like the other day, he was like, Amanda, I come in here and I thought this was kind of a joke, but I come in here and every single time I come to your office, you're watching something about 9/11. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm just like, oh, have you heard of this from 9/11? I'd be like, did you know? That's the thing. I was like, thank God for Matt, because I do have somebody I could be like, did you know about 9/11? It's really bad though, you guys. So that's not really like a fun one. That's not really like a fun hyperfixation, but it is a hyperfixation nonetheless. I would say that really is a true hyperfixation, right? Like, is that a hyperfixation, or is it something else entirely, like something far worse? I do wish it would stop. I wish something else would come along. And I try to think of it as like, because it's a pretty embarrassing hyperfixation, I would say. I think it's probably very embarrassing. It's fucking weird as hell. But I try to remind myself, like, some people are hyperfixated on other tragedies, national tragedies, right? Pompeii was pretty bad. I think some of you are hyperfixated on that, right? I get pulled in every once in a while by the Titanic and Pompeii and other tragedies. What's wrong with us? You know, there's a lot of people who are very hyperfixated on like wars and stuff. And I'm not. I don't care about that. I'm not hyperfixated on any wars. I mean, this is definitely, it's a part of a war, but it's not a war. It's not the war itself. You know, once it gets to the war part, I'm done. I'm all done with it. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go back to September 11th. So you're weirder than me if you like war and stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. Some people are, you know, like, I guess that's like a common thing to get roped in by, is like huge major tragedies in human history. I guess that's helping me feel a little bit more normal, but not really. Anyway, yeah, that's my current hyperfixation. Hopefully I get a new one, but also Neopets, right? Pray for me, I guess. I don't know. Melly, you asked if I had any thoughts on the Hunger Games. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on the Hunger Games, actually. Too many. It's actually insane. And I know that there's other books that are this way, and there's other media. There's tons of other media actually is this way. I was going to be like, this is the only time this has ever happened, but no. It's just so rare nowadays. I think it's because like so many of the things that I did read and like watched growing up as a millennial, like they aged so badly, you know, and you look back and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that I grew up on that shit. Like, holy shit, that's so bad. With the Hunger Games, it only gets better. Like every time a second passes, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins gets a little better, you know, like in general, just the concept of it, not even just like all the books, but which of course I love the books, but all of it, just every idea that Suzanne Collins had in her head for the Hunger Games, for this whole world, it just gets better. All of it. It's just so beautiful, but it's also so gut-wrenching. You know, there's nothing beautiful about it, but there is actually. It's very, very beautiful. It's very profound. I'll cry. Yeah, I love the Hunger Games so much. And I feel like I never get to talk about it, you know, because it's never like a meme like Twilight is or anything. I love Katniss with my whole heart. I love Peeta with my whole heart. I hate Gale with my whole heart. I love the Hunger Games. And I think it gets better every single fucking day. It gets a little better because it's just more and more poignant. And like, I guess that means that we're in a pretty shitty fucking place in human history if the Hunger Games keeps getting more and more relevant, huh? But like it does, you know, every fucking day it feels like Hollywood is looking more like the Capitol. Every day it's looking like we're closer and closer to this like revolution and shit. Or like we're closer and closer to a revolution that's gonna piss the Capitol off, and then we're gonna have the Hunger Games. I don't know, just like Suzanne Collins, your fucking mind, your brain. You thought of that all the way back there. I have the most wonderful experience with the Hunger Games, like looking back on how I first got into it, because I was working at a doggy daycare. I was like freshly 18, I think. And I had just some random person that I didn't even really get along with recommend the Hunger Games to me. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, just read it. I'm obsessed with it. And I was like, okay. And I read it. Yeah, and that's all it took, you know, of course. Like, and I don't even remember. I mean, I'm sure there's been tons of books actually, because now I'm like fully in Hunger Games mode. So I'm thinking like, there's never been another book in my whole life that's done this to me. There's been probably a lot, but I don't know. I remember every second of first reading that first book. And I remember I was like, okay, I want to read this just so I can like better get along with that person at the doggy daycare that I work with. Like, you know, and I don't know. I just felt kind of pressured to read it so that like she would stop bullying me. But I was like, you know, I'm just going to crack this open, see what happens. And I read it for hours that first night. I was like spellbound, just totally hooked immediately. It just gets you. It gets you right away. And that was before the movies came out, I think. I think it was before the movies came out. So I had no idea what was going to happen. I didn't even really know what it was about. And it just took me away. It just took me for a fucking ride. And I'm still on the ride to this day, actually. I love the Hunger Games so much. I think it's perfect. I think everything about it is so perfect. I really like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm so glad that we're like doing Hunger Games again because I need it. And I'm really excited and like I'll cry actually. I will fucking cry if I talk about it too much. But yeah, see, I'm already feeling the tears kind of like welling up. Next year, March 18th, 2025, where are we going to be, folks, fellas? Where are we going to be? In line waiting for our book to come out? Just kidding. We don't have to get in line anymore. We could just buy it on our fucking phone, right? Sunrise on the Reaping. Yeah, this is going to be tough. It's going to be rough. Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to even be able to I think I'm too sensitive. I think I'm too much of a little bitch, honestly, now at this point in my life to handle a prequel about the 50th Hunger Games, which if you didn't know was a second quarter quell where twice the number of tributes were reaped, including a 16-year-old Hema Abernathy. It's just a sensitive subject. Honestly, I just think I'm gonna fucking cry a lot. I think I'm gonna read it in 1 or 2 nights and I think I'm gonna cry a lot. And I just think that the Hunger Games is a beautiful thing. I really do. I mean, tell me something wrong about it. Tell me that it's not perfect. I dare you. I dare you. I actually do dare you. I just want to know if it's even possible. I think that Katniss is like the best girl who ever lived. I'm crying a little. There's like tears in my eyes. I just really get emotional about it. I won't lie. So I just love it. And that's my thoughts on the Hunger Games. I just hope that we're all going to be okay on March 18th, 2025. But I don't think we will. But it's okay. I think we'll get through it if we all hold hands together. Oh my God. Thank you for asking about the Hunger Games. Now you know. Hope you asked, which fictional universe would you want to live in and why? Great question. Pokemon. Always. It's always going to be Pokemon. You guys know how I feel about my whole Pokemon life, that I want to live so bad. I need to get there. I need to get there. Like as soon as possible. I have to get there. I have to somehow get there because I have a lot to do. I have so much to do. I'm so behind on all of my Pokemon life things that I need to do. Like I haven't even gotten started on my journey yet. I'm well past the age where kids get their first Pokemon. I'm like so fucking behind. I need to get there. I have people to meet, places to go, Pokemon to train, battles to win, and a man with a dragon, with multiple dragons actually, to find and convince to fall in love with me. I'm feeling so much FOMO because like, I don't know, I play these games and it just feels like everybody else is down there except for me. Like everybody else is there and I'm watching from the window, watching you all just have Pokemon, live your best life, go running to and fro across the region, doing what I want to do. It's just painful. It's painful to watch others live the life that you know that you deserve and that you know is the right one for you. And I just need to get there in some way, shape, or form. I'm not fucking around anymore. You guys, I'm serious. Someone needs to figure out how to fucking get me to Pokemon World, to the Pokemon realm, to that area, wherever it is, whatever dimension it is, I need to be there. I'm so serious. Like, I feel like the clock is ticking. I have so much to do and I need to get started right away. I need a game. I need my game. Please, Pokemon, you're just wasting money with anything else. Like, hello. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I have been pitching just a Pokemon like life sim, basically, that's like tailored kind of more for adults. There's like a dating element to it, of course. Lance is available. It's single, ready to mingle, as well as all the other characters in Pokemon. You get to like create your character, have your own life, and then you get to pick where you want to go with it. You can do the whole gym fucking circuit if you want to, or you can pursue like competitions, or you can pursue wanting to be a gym leader or like a Elite Four member. You can do whatever you want, you can have your goals and shit, and you can like date Pokemon people. And I was even like, when I first talked about this in one of my other videos, I was like, they could really make so much money because like maybe it comes with Kanto, Sinnoh, and Unova or something. And then you have to buy expansion packs to get Johto and Alola and Galar and Paldea and like Hoenn. Like you have to buy expansion packs, which would suck, but like I don't care. Get as much money as you need to get from us, Pokemon, Game Freak, Nintendo, whoever's just listening, none of you probably, but pass the word along if you can, because this would be $1 billion in the bank. Am I right? It's just a big open world thing, and it's like a customizable thing, and it's like a dating sim, and it's like a, it's not a farming sim, but like you're, Pokemoning, and you just get to go your own way and like make your own path. And I get to be an electric type specialist. And my first goal would be to be a gym leader, but then I would eventually want to be a part of the Elite Four. And I would also want to spend the rest of my life with Lance. But also, yeah, that's the thing. Like when you get new expansion packs with the new regions, like you unlock all the characters, So like, for example, if you were to buy the Galar one, you would get like Leon and Raihan and Piers and Bee and Nessa. Like if you were to buy the Alola expansion pack, then what? Like you could just end up what? Like sitting on Guzma's fucking cardboard couch watching somebody else's Netflix account, and they keep telling you can't be on that Netflix account because he's like using somebody else's account and he's trying to impress you. And you're like, do you even own this property, Guzma? Like, do you even fucking live here? And he's like, actually, that's the thing. I don't even know whose apartment this is. Like that kind of thing. You would just be able to like live your dream. You could just date people. You could just have a Pokemon hoe phase if you wanted. You could just totally date Sabrina. You could just totally date Elisa. That's my bestie, by the way, so treat her right. If you're kind of crazy and you want to spend the rest of your life with Cynthia, you could do that. Nobody would stop you from doing that. You could totally do that. You could totally spend the rest of your life with Morty or with Volkner if you wanted. You would think that that's who I'd go for, right? But, Anyway, all that to say that that's my game that I want, because I want to live in that world so bad. Like, you guys, I'm there. I'm already there. Take a look around. You know that song? I'm the sunshine in your hair. I'm the shadow on the ground. That song actually kind of fucking slaps, though. That's my jam, dude. They used to play that shit in Kmart back when they had Kmart and stuff. Anyway, 90s kid here, just reporting for duty. I'm already there, though. That's the thing. I already live my whole life in Pokemon world. Like, I have you guys already know, I think, hopefully. I don't have to go into it again because it's embarrassing, except it's not. This is who I am. Yeah, I have like this whole insane, very, very complex headcanon of like, it's me, but it's not. It's like an OC, like a Pokemon OC, you know what I mean? Just living life with Sparky, the Jolteon, and my whole electric team, and Lance, my boyfriend, and just all of our misadventures of like rescuing Pokemon, like from poaching and stuff, and like my various accomplishments through the Pokemon competitive circuit and stuff, and like dealing with the misdeeds of Team Rocket and all the other teams and like stuff like that. I'm just living there every day. I'm just like laying there in bed thinking about like just mundane Pokemon things, even like just so mundane, like oh yeah, just another day at the gym, or like just gotta run to the Pokemart and get my potions, like I just live there. I want to go there so bad. Like sometimes I think about it and I'm like, maybe when I'm old, maybe when I'm literally elderly, like they'll come up with a way that you can live a virtual life, like like inside of Pokemon. I don't know. I just want to live in Pokemon world so bad. I want to just be there. I just want it. Okay. I just want it more than anything. It appeals to me. Does it appeal to anybody else? It appeals to me. Everything about it fucking appeals to me. Like little houses. Everybody has their own little fucking house. And it's just the way that people live their lives. It's just Pokemon. Everything's Pokemon. I just want to live. Just want to live there. So yeah, that's my answer. I just want to live in Pokemon. That's what I want. Oh, Liz, you are going to regret asking this question. Just kidding. You're going to get your money's worth for sure. Great question, by the way. I'm just forewarning you that I'm probably going to absolutely dump. What are your favorite subgenres of horror movies and some of your faves in each of those subgenres? Yeah. Wow. Where do I even start? Everything just loaded into my brain, and I'm just realizing that I'm probably just going to have to list like, I don't know, there's just so many that came to mind immediately. So I guess I'm just gonna list them. I don't even know where to start. For those of you who don't know, I watch a lot of horror movies. It's probably a big hyperfixation of mine too. It's just horror movies, just watching them all every time there's one. Just watching it and just watching all of them. I love horror movies. Anyway, folk horror is a big fave for sure. Of course, as like a horror movie snob, I was going to say folk horror, like fucking first, my ass. Favorite folk horror. See, that's the thing too, though. It's like hard to actually, like off the top of my head, figure out where to put these films because they go into couple different places, you know? I mean, unquestionably, OG Wicker Man is like perfect folk horror. And Apostle, that's like one of my favorite new folk horrors, like newish. It's like in the last few years. The Witch, obviously, probably considered folk horror. Midsummer, of course, one of my favorite new horror movies. Children of the Corn, Pumpkinhead, The Ritual, that's a new one. The Wailing is so fucking good. Would that be folk horror? Where would The Wailing go? The Wailing is so good if you haven't seen it. I think it's Korean and it's so good. I think I'll put it here on folk horror. I'll put it here on folk horror. Let's see, what else? When Evil Lurks could be considered probably folk horror, but it's also possession, but it's not classic possession, but it is possession. If you haven't seen When Evil Lurks, that's an amazing new movie. It's very graphic. Definitely take a look at some like trigger warnings before you go into it. I think it's an Argentinian film actually, and it's just really, really good. And I guess I'll put it here on folk horror. Let's see, what else do I love? Found footage, of course. Wreck is probably one of my favorites. Blair Witch Project, fucking obviously. Oh, Lake Mungo is my favorite found footage horror movie, I think, is Lake Mungo. If you haven't seen Lake Mungo yet, definitely recommend it. It's also kind of a paranormal, but it's found footage. So, and it's kind of like, it's like a documentary style, but it's also found footage. It's really good. It's so scary, but it's like, it's not for everybody. It's weird. I know I've talked about it before, but highly recommend it. As Above, So Below, another one of my fucking faves that I ride for so hard. That's found footage, right? Yeah, it is. I love that fucking movie. Not a lot of people do, but I fucking love that movie. It's like one of my favorite fucking horror movies because it's just so fucking weird. The concept is so strange. It's the weirdest movie. It's like so weird, but I love it. And it like goes there with so many of the little threads that you think it's following. It goes fully there. It realizes so many of those little threads to the best possible degree, to the point where it's so absurd, but I love it. Taking of Deborah Logan is really good, actually good. There's a lot of found footage films that suck, but I love. And then there's a lot of found footage films that just suck that I don't love. Really not a big fan of Paranormal Activity. I really never liked those movies. Really not a big fan of Antrum. You remember when Antrum came out and everybody was like, if you watch this movie, you're gonna die. It's so fucking scary. It's like the scariest movie ever. They always do that. But yeah, I hated Antrum actually, thinking about it. I like the VHS movies. They're fun. They're just fun. And Host was really good. That was like the one that came out during the pandemic where everybody was like on face cam. Love Cloverfield, of course. Love Hell House LLC, even though they're not great films, they are fun. Oh, what else? Oh my gosh, I got to talk about slashers. I probably should have started with slashers. Love slashers. That's probably what got me into horror. Of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like my favorite. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Sleepaway Camp, Halloween, The Evil Dead, Scream. Someday I'll make a whole video about Scream. Scream is so fucking special, you guys. So special. Just everything that it has done for horror, honestly, because I won't get into it here, but like slashers were like a thing of the past, and then Scream dragged them back into the modern day. And now we have all these amazing movies because of Scream, and Scream itself is just like fucking perfect. I love Scream so much. Oh, Cabin in the Woods too. Like as far as stuff for horror fans, like Cabin in the Woods is the best. It's like a love letter to the cheesiest and best of horror. And it's just a wonderful fucking time. It's just so fun. Let's see, other slashers. Some like new ones that I really like, actually. You're Next. I always like talk up that one. I love that movie. Hellfest is really fun. I think I've talked about it before. It's this movie where like these friends go to a haunted house excursion place, like a fun place, but there's an actual killer there, like killing people, and they think it's like props. And they'll see dead bodies and blood and stuff, and they'll think it's just a prop. It's like a part of the thing, but it's not. Green Room is a slasher, right? Oh my God. Have you seen Green Room? Oh geez. That one's tough to fucking watch, but that is such a good movie. But it's like hard to watch at some points. There's some nasty parts in it, but it's really good. But it's also really like, there's some scenes that live in my head forever from Green Room. Actually, I'd really have to be in like the right place to watch that again. It's fucked up. Banana Splits movie. I fucking loved that movie. That's a slasher. Oh my God, I just watched Maxine. So I finished like the X and Pearl and Maxine trilogy. So fucking good. Some of my favorite new horror movies. Mia Goth, My Girl. Am I right? Like fucking knocked it out of the park. Those are slashers, right? What the hell else would they be? Yeah, they're probably slashers because, you know, it's just somebody being picked off one by one. Did I say Ready or Not? Did I say Sweeney Todd? Can Sweeney Todd count as a slasher? It is, right? I love Sweeney Todd. I just love fucking Sweeney Todd. I know it's like a musical, but I think it's also kind of a slasher, right? I know I'm forgetting so many. Candyman, that's a good one. I Know What You Did Last Summer, another good one. Malignant's a slasher, right? No, wait, I was reading something the other day that Malignant was giallo. It's probably both. And I haven't gotten super into giallo yet, but I love Malignant. I fucking love Malignant. Suspiria, I think, is considered a giallo. Deep Red Love is a giallo. Torso is a good one. But yeah, I can't think of any other giallo that I even know. I gotta get into it more. If you have any giallo recommendations, let me know. What else? How about psychological horror? Hush is probably one of my favorites. Jacob's Ladder. Oh my God, I was just thinking about that today. I don't remember why or like what I was referencing, but Jacob's Ladder is fucking insane. The Lodge is a really good recent one. Last Night in Soho, I really liked that one a lot. Killing of a Sacred Deer. The Babadook. Good Night Mommy is really good. Us is psychological horror. Us is kind of, is it a slasher? Us? No, Us is, I guess it's probably psychological horror. Get Out is definitely psychological horror, and I love Get Out, of course. Silence of the Lambs, holy shit. One of my favorite movies of all time, obviously. The New Invisible Man actually is a really, really good psychological horror. What else? Possession movies. It's such a hit or miss for me, honestly. Love The Exorcist, of course. Hereditary. Oh, one of my favorites. Hereditary is like a possession film, but it's also a psychological horror film. Talk to Me is possession, right? Yeah. Talk to Me is so good. And I love the Conjuring movies. I love the first Conjuring. I love all the other ones too, even if they're bad. I just think they're fun. And honestly, this is so funny and weird. I'm such a big fan of the fake Ed and Lorraine Warren. Such a big fan of them. Not to be confused with the real Ed and Lorraine Warren, who I am very critical of, but also very hyperfixated on. And they're, also a major hyperfixation that I would love to make a video about one day, honestly, because I just think everything about them is so fucking insane that it even exists and so weird. But I love the fake Ed and Lorraine Warren, like as people. The real Ed and Lorraine Warren, not as people, but as a concept, very interesting. Fake Ed and Lorraine Warren, love you guys forever. You guys are my fucking ride or dies, for real. Love them. Is Sinister a possession film? What the fuck is Sinister? It's like everything. It's like kind of found footagey, but not, obviously. Oh, Sinister is so good. Yeah, definitely one of my faves. Oh my God, Longlegs. I just saw Longlegs when it first came out, actually, like a couple days after it came out, and loved it. Loved everything about it, honestly. Really loved it. One of my new favorites, for sure. Is that a possession film? I guess, right? It's kind of a weird hybrid of a lot of things, actually. But I guess it can go here. Let's see what else. Creature features, huh? Frogs, gotta be one of my favorites. Someday, I swear, mark my words, I'm gonna make a video about this one. Frogs is like my favorite creature feature ever. But I love Jaws, I love Jurassic Park, love Gremlins, love Tremors, love The Host by Bong Joon-ho. Love The Host, oh my gosh. And that's making me think of kaiju, and now I'm like trying to talk about Godzilla as if that's a horror creature feature type thing. Is it? Is kaiju, like, does that count? Yeah, right? I guess. Anyway, I fucking love Godzilla movies. I love all of them. I just love Godzilla. Perfect. All of them. Godzilla -1, Shin Godzilla, just absolutely beautiful, perfect films. Love them. Nope is a creature feature, right? Jean Jacket, my girl. Definitely. I know I keep saying this, but like, can you tell I have so many fucking little video essays that I want to do? I want to make a pivot so bad, but I also don't. It's so scary. But yeah, I want to make a video about Nope so bad. I fucking love Nope. That's my favorite Jordan Peele, like far and away. I guess it's probably technically an alien movie, right? So we'll talk about alien movies next, but I guess it's technically an alien movie, but I just see Jean Jacket as such an animal more than anything, you know? And I guess that's literally a part of the theme, actually, in the subtext of the film, that like Jean Jacket is just another animal and man versus nature type shit. But alien movies, am I right? I love my aliens and my alien movies. Love Alien, love Aliens. Love most of those movies, honestly. Really gotta go see the new one. I love Signs. I love Signs. Signs is one of my fucking all-time favorite movies. I'm sure I talked about it here. Have you guys seen No One Will Save You? loved that shit. Loved that fucking shit. Oh, I loved that movie. That was my kind of movie. Highly recommend it. I love the Predator movies. I loved Prey. That's another one of my new favorite movies is Prey. The Predator movie. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I don't know if Close Encounters of the Third Kind counts as like a horror movie, but I love that movie. Okay, now my brain is like loading up other alien movies to talk about, but I'm realizing that we're entering cosmic horror. now. Because like The Thing, one of my all-time favorite movies, that's like a cosmic horror movie for sure. Annihilation, fucking love you, baby. Event Horizon, love you. The Void, love you. Yeah, and then, you know, I could talk about like Color Out of Space and like just Lovecraft in general, but, you know, I won't. I used to be like kind of into Lovecraft as like in terms of just the little stories that I would read as like a teenager, but then I found out that he is a piece of shit, and so just don't really need to talk about him. I'm glad that other cosmic horrors are coming out to overshadow him because he was a shithead for sure. What else do we have that I haven't touched on yet? Zombie movies, fucking Romero's Dead trilogy, of course, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. Love the 2004 Dawn of the Dead remake too, actually. Love that one. 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, Reanimator. Oh, have you seen Cargo? Cargo. So good. So underrated. If you haven't seen it and you like zombie movies, definitely check it out. Fucking Train to Busan. One of my favorite movies. I love Train to Busan. Definitely one of the best zombie movies of all time. Hands down. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is another favorite fucking horror movie. And I do mean that because there's some really terrifying moments and it's just a genuinely good film. Let's see. What the fuck am I forgetting? Paranormal stuff? Yeah, I guess. Not really a huge fan, like I was saying earlier, of like Paranormal Activity. I don't even really like the Insidious movies that much, but I love The Grudge, love The Ring, love Poltergeist, love The Others. Oh my God, I fucking love The Others. I saw that when I was really young, and that's something I think that definitely made me love horror this much. Love The Sixth Sense, one of my favorite movies also. Also saw that when I was really young, and it also turned me into whatever the fuck I am today. His House, really, really good. Is that paranormal? That's, yeah. It's probably psychological too, kind of. Same with Anything for Jackson. Have you seen that? I think that's like, it's paranormal and psychological, I think. Autopsy of Jane Doe, really fucking good too. Okay, there's a couple others. I don't really know where to put them. So I'm assuming that means that they're like art house, you know, like, cause I'm like, oh, this will come up. Like I can talk about this movie when this genre comes up. I should probably look up all the genres, but I don't feel like it. But yeah, anything. Yeah, because these are giving me elevated, quote unquote, art house horror vibes. Mandy, one of my favorites. Love fucking Mandy. Love Nick Cage in horror. Keep doing that, please. Love It Follows. Barbarian. Raw is a French movie that's really good. The Menu. Love it. The Lighthouse. I saw it in theaters and I'll just never forget that experience, honestly. That has to go here, right? You know, honestly, we don't even really need to talk about like splatter films or anything like that. I love the Saw movies, but I really don't like gore. I think I've talked about this a little bit, but I just hate gore, actually. It's so funny as someone who loves horror movies and needs to watch every single fucking horror movie ever. I actually really don't like gore. I really hate it, actually. I will watch it through my fingers most of the time, honestly. I don't like movies that take it way too far for the sake of taking it way too far with gore, which I know a lot of movies love to do, especially nowadays. They just love to push the envelope and have everybody talking about how gory it is, which is just fucking annoying. And that's kind of what I mean. It's like, I understand gore when it's used in horror movies, and it can be really, I guess, cool to see like what they do with the effects and stuff and how creative they can get about like the kills and stuff. But I just don't like it when it's so gratuitous and so fucking over the top. And you're like, you know, you just like, there's some movies, Terrifier, Terrifier 2 for sure, probably Terrifier 3, where you're just watching it and you're like, come on, you guys want people talking about your little movie so bad, don't you? You want everybody being like, oh my God, I could not even handle, like they just want to do something as shocking as fucking possible. And then they just want everybody to be like, oh my God, that one scene, like holy shit, right? It's like so fucked up. Like you're such a dark, crazy person. If you can sit through that scene, like if you can watch it, you know, it's just stupid. And it just makes all these movies that edgy fucking weirdos on the internet could be like, yeah, that's my favorite movie because I'm fucking weird as fuck. Just want want you to know that I'm dark and edgy and just want attention so bad. So yeah, just not a really big fan of movies that focus solely on the gore to the point where it's literally the genre. But I do like the Saw movies for some reason. I do. So yeah, I think I'll stop myself before I keep fucking going forever. That's my answer. Thank you for asking questions that I love. Myra, you asked, do you do any textile or handcrafts like knitting, crocheting, or sewing, etc.? I am able to sew. Actually, I do quite a bit of sewing. I have tried to learn knitting and crocheting, but I gave up because I wasn't instantly good at it. You know how it is. But it's been a long time since I've tried, so maybe I'll try again. Maybe I will try again. Maybe that's something I'll do. I don't know. Don't hold me to it, but I might. Anyway, sewing. I can sew. I'm not like that good at it. I always say it's like I have enough skill in that regard to make things for myself, but I would never sell them. I think I would have like too high of standards if I sold stuff. I don't even know. I'm always so afraid that I'm just not as good at art as other people. Isn't that just always the way? Like there's always just somebody better than you and you're like, oh, I'm not good at this actually, am I? I guess I'm okay. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of some of the things I make, like my long Furbies, and I'm currently making like little dog clothes for my little Gellert plushes. Those are Neopets, by the way, to like customize them to make them into my own Neopets. And I made like I didn't make the Hannah coat. I just like modified a bathrobe. I like sewed a fur trim onto a bathrobe. That's literally all I did. I made a coat. No, I didn't. Normally what I sew for is costumes for Halloween. That's really like the only thing I ever sew for, or I can fix things. So I fix like if one of Jade's plushes gets a rip in it, or like if one of our articles of clothing gets ripped. Like I feel like such a cottagecore girl in a book. Honestly, whenever Matt's like, oh no, I ripped my shirt, and I'm like, I'll sew it for you. Here, I'll just have this closed up in just a second. I have my little sewing kit because I keep like a sewing kit down in the kitchen junk drawer. And so if like there's ever a rip, I'm like, I can sew it. It's just one of my quirky little traits. I am very glad that I can sew. My mom actually taught me to sew as a little kid. I'll never forget, there was like a rainy day or something, and there was two of my cousins over, and my mom just decided, she was so crazy for this. She decided to just teach us all how to sew. And then she taught us to sew our own, wow, she was crazy for this, thinking about it. Cause she was just like, let's fucking sew, everybody. And she taught us all how to sew. And then she had us make our own little plush. And I made Koromon, the Digimon, because it was just like a little head with like little ears. And then we didn't have any stuffing. So she went and got dryer lint and was like, we can use this as stuffing. And it was just, I don't know, it was just like the most whimsical day ever. My mom was crazy for this. But yeah, she taught me, my brother, and my cousins to sew. But I think only I ever retained it because I just have never seen my brother or my cousins ever sewing shit. Whereas I make my own costumes and fix people's holes in their clothes. So it's just a good skill to have. And I guess I probably have to teach Jade to sew at some point when she's a child so that it sticks. But maybe I'll also teach her to crochet or knit because I didn't get that lesson when I was a kid. Therefore, my brain's elasticity closed up or something and I can't learn it now. Just like with French braiding. I can't fucking learn to French braid no matter how hard I try. Does anybody have any success stories about French braiding? I want to learn how to French braid so bad, but I can't. I've tried 500 times. I'm done. And I'm like, is my life I'm just going to be the bitch that can't French braid hair, you know? But I want to be. Just let me know if you have any success stories about learning later in life to knit, crochet, or French braid. Even if you thought you never could and then one day you just did, just let me know. But anyway, yeah, I can sew. I enjoy sewing quite a bit. Lisa, you asked, what music have you been listening to or loving extra lately? Anything new? Good question. We're always listening to music here in this house. And I feel like me and Matt, who's my husband, because we always have music playing, but then we end up kind of syncing up things. Matt will be like, oh, I'm listening to this a lot this week. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to listen to that. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I've been listening to this a lot. And he's like, oh yeah, I haven't listened to that in a while because we have such similar music taste. We've been listening to so much like 80s and 90s rock, especially 90s, like a lot of Incubus, Third Eye Blind, Goo Goo Dolls, stuff like that. But then also I've been listening to The Cure so much the last probably 6 months. I've always loved The Cure, but I've been like so into The Cure. Depeche Mode, Smashing Pumpkins, Soundgarden, always listening to Alice in Chains, one of my favorite bands of all time. Always listening to My Chemical Romance, obviously. And actually Hozier, I have gotten really, really into lately. I've always been like a casual ever since I heard Take Me to Church, because I feel like it's such a simp anthem. Like when I first heard that song, I was like, wow, yeah, I get that. Like that's totally it. That's the words that I was always meaning to say whenever I was playing a video game and I loved somebody. But then Unreal Unearth like really grabbed me when it came out, and I just started listening to it nonstop. And then from there, at the behest of one of my best friends, Salem of Maybe Salem fame, probably the world's biggest Hozier fan of all time, I went to Hozier Expanded Edition, and that really sunk my ship for real. I mean, just really another perfect album, honestly, from the man. Like, what is he doing to our culture and the people around us? I don't know. Because then Wasteland Baby's amazing too. He's just like, this guy never misses, I guess, apparently. I'm coming to the conclusion, I'm coming to find that this 7-foot tall man never misses. I just don't think he's ever missed, honestly. I just don't think he's ever missed. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit that I'm forgetting, but that's off the top of my head. But there's probably so much stuff I've been like on repeat lately and I'm totally forgetting it. But yeah, that's just kind of like where we're at right now. Don't Say Dame, you asked, are you interested in playing Neopets The Darkest Fairy for PlayStation 2 on the channel? Always. Yes, 100%. I would love to. I don't know how to get that to work, but I guess I haven't really tried that hard yet. I would absolutely love to play that game. Oh, just like maybe 1 or 2 episodes even. I need to do it. Yeah. If there's anybody who knows how to get that to work on like just a basic fucking setup, like my setup kind of sucks. I have a Mac. So like, it already limits me so much from what I can play. But if there's any way anybody knows how to make that work, I mean, we have a PS4, but that wouldn't work on the PS4, right? No. Can you play older PlayStation games on newer PlayStations? No, right? I'm an idiot. There's probably like an emulator of some sort, maybe, but I just, would absolutely love that. I'm hugely interested in doing it. I would absolutely love to, in fact. I just don't know how. So if anybody has any tips or tricks on how to play The Darkest Fairy, Neopets The Darkest Fairy PlayStation 2 game, like on my Mac for you all at some point, just let me know. Yeah, share some hot tips down in the comments. Robin, you asked if I'm excited for the 3rd Sonic movie. You have no fucking idea. You have no idea. Yes. Too excited. Honestly, don't remember the last time I've been more excited for a movie. I will not lie to you, to be honest, to be completely honest. And that's saying something because I'm like a big movie bitch. I am so excited. I can't believe we haven't gotten the trailer yet. I'm pretty sure they said it was going to come out in August. So I'm just like kind of waiting every single day. I need to see him. And by him, I mean Shadow the Hedgehog. I can't believe they're going to do like Sonic Adventure 2, basically. Probably. It seems like, it looks like, oh my God. And some of you might remember that I did like record an entire video about Sonic 2, the movie, and then it just got away from me. I never ended up being able to have the time to edit it. And then I realized, why don't we just wait until Sonic 3 is about to come out? That way it's like relevant and I can put that video out when it's closer to Sonic 3 coming out. So I might do that instead, because if you don't know, I'm a huge Sonic fan, like huge Sonic fan, especially Shadow the Hedgehog and Friends. And so I'm very excited for that movie. More excited than I've ever been for anything. Like, this is what I've been waiting for since they first announced that they were making Sonic movies, is this point right here. So I'm so excited to see what they do. I'm a little bit disappointed that Shadow's voice actor isn't Hayden Christensen. I just thought he would be perfect for it, honestly. I just really thought you were going to pick my boy, my special boy, to be the voice of my other special boy. I just really thought that you loved me and that you were going to do what I wanted you to do, but you didn't. You picked Keanu Reeves, who gets everything, but it's fine because he's a sweet guy too. And also, I just really fucking honestly swear to God, like deep down in my heart, even though I am both a huge fan specifically of Hayden Christensen and Shadow the Hedgehog, and I just wanted them to be together for this, I also just really think that Hayden Christensen would be so good as Shadow for so many reasons. I won't get into it because it's not going to happen. It hurts me. I could have really convinced them if they had just given me a chance to talk. I mean, listen to the guy. First of all, listen to his voice. voice. It's just Shadow from Sonic Adventure 2. He sounds way more like Shadow than anybody else in the whole world. I remember being a kid specifically, and when I was playing Sonic Adventure 2, I was always like, wow, he reminds me so much of Anakin, like so much of my Anakin, my sweet Anakin, my not so sweet. He's not sweet at all, actually, at all. He used to be though, but I won't get into it. Anyway, I was like, oh, he reminds me so much of Anakin, like his voice sounds just like Anakin, blah, blah, blah. And so I just thought that would be cool, but they had something else in mind, you know? And also Hayden, like, can bring that Anakin energy to Shadow, because I think that he can do a lot with that. I think he's really good at, I think he understands characters like Shadow, you know? It was kind of the point where, like, if it wasn't going to be Hayden, I would like it to be no one actually, and fuck all of you. But if it has to be someone, then I guess Keanu Reeves could be good. As long as it's not someone annoying. Like, it had to be, I don't know. I've never felt like that crazy about a voice casting before either. I was like, who's it going to be? Like, are they going to fuck up my whole life by casting someone I don't approve of for my boy? You know, I was just insane for some reason. I've never gotten like that, I don't think, to my memory. I probably have actually, but not that I could remember. So I'm happy with it. Again, it wasn't what I wanted, but it is the best case scenario outside of that. So yeah, I will be there on opening night for sure. 100% midnight. I haven't done that in like so long, but I'll definitely be there. And I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited. Yes, I am excited for the new Sonic movie. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I am. Yes, yes, indeed. Creepy Nightcore Demon. I'm so glad that you asked my opinions on My Immortal. And I'm guessing you're not talking about the song by American rock band Evanescence. I assume that you are referring to Ebony Darkness, Dementia Raven Way's autobiography, posted on fanfiction.net in 2006 or something, or 2007. Yeah, I was there actually. My opinion is that I was there, and I'll never forget reading about Ebony and Draco going to a Good Charlotte concert in Hogsmeade. There's a lot I do forget about My Immortal, thankfully. Thank God. My mind's protecting me. But I do remember that they went to a Good Charlotte concert. I just find that so funny. And then that Hermione Granger changed her name to Bloody Mary Smith. Hermione Granger? You mean Bloody Mary Smith? And then I'm pretty sure that Harry Potter changed his name to just Vampire, right? Was that Vampire? I don't remember what Ron's alter ego was, or if he's even in the fucking thing. Yeah, I don't remember anything else, to be honest. But I remember that it brought me a lot of joy and also a lot of confusion. I do, because again, like I was saying, I was there writing fan fiction on fanfiction.net when it was like literally an ongoing thing. And I would be frequenting circles that were discussing it. And like me and all my little MCR fan fiction friends would be like, let's go over there and like say that this is wrong. And, and we just be commenting like, oh my God, that's not how any of this works. You're like such a poser, dude. You're like such a prep. What the fuck? You're like such a teeny bopper. Like, what are you doing? As if it wasn't totally obvious that it's trolling, but it's still just, I'm so glad that it's still to this day being talked about, being discussed, because I think it's an incredibly culturally important piece of media, piece of art. And I really do appreciate revisiting it. Really, I do. It's just a perfect little time capsule of that time in my life where I was just dealing with shit like that constantly, everywhere I turned. You know, I was just always just wading through the trials and tribulations of being a fucking fangirl on fanfiction.net. And there was a lot of My Immortals too. Like My Immortals, the one that really blew up, but there was a lot of My Immortals that we would be like, oh my God, here's another crazy bad fanfic. Here's another train wreck. And yeah, we just had a lot of fun back then. We really did. So thank you so much to Tara and Bloody Mary Smith and Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way for everything that you gave us. Wow, we just got all the boys coming out to the town square to have some coffee, to walk around with their little bag, their little cunty bag, and to do whatever the fuck Sherp is doing. Holy shit, look at him looking at everybody with those goggles on. God damn, Sherp. When I gave you those, I didn't mean actually wear them. Look at him hiding behind the bulletin board. Holy shit. Wow. He's just out to collect his bones or something, or like body parts. Ugh. God, you guys aren't freaked out by that? Oh my God. Stop being weird. Oh my God, what could these two possibly have to talk about? Don't influence him. He's a good boy. Sherby, come on. You know how there's lots of places to go in the world? Well, all those places have real yummy food. Is he trying to lure Pappy into a trap? Look at Pappy. He's our hook, line, and sinker. You got him. Really? I want to go explore all the foods in the world. Where do you want to go eat, Amanda? I would like to go back to the safety of my house, and I suggest you do the same, Pappy. The Arctic. What the fuck? The wilderness. Let's just say the tropics. Look at Sherb just staring at me with those eyes. The tropics, sunshine and fruit and sharks. We could go see sharks. Oh, I love these two boys. Okay, guys. All right. Okay. We love it. We love to see this. This took a really great turn, actually. Oh man, sharks are real amazing. I like how they purr when you pet them. Fucking freak. Sharks purr? Someone should have told me this before now. Let's go to the tropics and we'll pet sharks. Eat fruit, and then get sunburns on our bellies. It'll be neat. Pappy, do not go anywhere with him. Not anywhere, okay? Do not go anywhere with him. I don't care where he says you're going, you're not going there, okay? If he ever tells you to hop inside a bag, you're going to the tropics, do not do it, okay? We love you. We want you to stay. Anyway, yeah, I figured we'd end here. I still have lots of questions on my list and lots to do around here. I know that we got a shit ton done. We really got a lot done, actually. But as you can clearly see, we still have quite a lot more work to be done yet. Holy shit. Like, this is such a huge undertaking. But yeah, I think we got a lot done. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to having my island back and having it better than ever, because right now it's just hell on earth. It's a hellscape to have to just be working around all of this construction. You know what I mean? It's just been awful. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this the hell up so that I can keep working on Mothman, play some other games. We have lots to do. I'm so excited for the future of Molokai. I'm so excited for this to all come together and like for us to get to take a big tour and just see how different it is. I can't believe I actually flattened the entire island. What was I was crazy for that. I'm crazy for that, right? Hi, Anka. Oh my God, you look so cute. Look at your little matching outfit that you put together with the glasses and stuff. My precious little seahorse. I'm being quite lazy this afternoon. You should join me, my love. I should. You're so right. I think I'm going to stop building on Molokai and just totally enjoy a lazy afternoon with you.